In the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her clothes. The ones she had lost and the ones she had lost for. The ones who lost Jenny would dance with her clothes. The ones she had lost and the ones very long. She never remembered their names. They spun her around on the damp cobblestones, spun away her sorrow and pain. And she never wanted to leave. She never wanted to leave. She never wanted to leave. She never wanted to leave.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Game of Queens. That was the beautiful Tatiana. She's sort of in mourning today. She's wearing all black. Tatiana? She's not even talking.
My heart and my tears are black. I don't know how I can go on after this episode.
Yeah, Tatiana's very emotional. I'm actually wearing red today, and we didn't plan this, so we're both wearing Targaryen colors. So she's in the black of the morning, or I'm the blood, and you are the fire. You are the
I'm the smoke. Let's go with that.
So anyway, welcome everyone to the show. I am Heidi. I am one of your queens tonight. Actually, I'm wearing my crown. Last week I didn't have it on, so I am wearing it today. I've added some spikes, which sort of feel appropriate. Did you see my spikes, Tatiana? I added some little Swarovski spikes.
Oh, I thought that was like starfish, but now I thought it was like a starfish, but like, oh.
Well, they're sort of, I meant them to be sort of like thorns, but I don't know. They're kind of like sharp, sort of Cersei like spikes. Anyway, I'm going to keep populating this thing. I'm using Jack's term. My husband likes to say populate for fill up. I don't know if anybody else likes using this. So, hey everyone, how are you in the chat? We've already got a nice, lovely group of people here.
Thanks, Majora, and hi.
Hi everyone. Here, I have to click on the window because I can't see everybody here. Okay, here we go. So we've got.
I'm gonna do this again.
Oh yeah, I don't have.
This time it's orange juice because last time my judgment got a little clouded.
You're awesome. And I have my I drink and know things. I drink and I'm a drink. Yes, we are not men. I drink and I know I'm a know-it-all. Maybe that's what I think it should be.
Also, as a PSA, no, this is not a message that says that I hate men. I like men. Men are awesome and they're nice for the most part. There are good men, there are bad men. I accept the good and I deal with the bad.
Yeah.
I am not a man hater. I just really like the quote. Just, PSA instead, social justice warriors.
And of course, it's sort of sad because that was a line that was exchanged between Melisandre and Dany back in season 3 or something.
Season 2?
Was it season 2? So who's here today? We've got Vanessa's here, we've got Asoon's here, and we've got Hindsight POV is here, and Jose,
and Sarah, and Jose.
Sarah Scott. Hey, Middle Earth is here too. Hey, Middle Earth, nice to see you. Shirley. Majora. Hey, Faden Design Studio. So that's Romy. I want to wish a very, very happy birthday to our girl Romy. It's her birthday today, Tatiana. Yeah, happy birthday. We put a little message in our group. Hi, Shirley. Did I miss anybody? A3 is here. Linda R.
Hey, Linda. Hey, Linda. And Hindsight.
Yeah.
And everybody.
So anyway, oh my gosh. Wow. So how's everyone doing? After I saw last night's show. Okay, so Tatiana and I haven't been here we missed a week because I had to move, which is why I have this really boring backdrop behind me. Everyone's sorry. So Jack, actually, my husband, just sort of set up my YouTube setup here. And it might even be a bit echoey too. And I've got a weird glare in my eyeglasses because we have to work on the lighting and stuff. So anyway, so we missed last week. So we're going to try and cover what happened last week and what happened this week. But so last week was really a lot to take in. But this week, oh my God. Like, Tatiana, what were your first impressions?
I need a drink.
Yeah.
That was my first impression. Like, literally, I need a drink. Oh God.
Were you drinking during the episode?
No, but I wanted to. Like, the only reason was I wasn't drinking was because I was with my dad and my stepmom. That's like the only reason.
Yeah, otherwise you would have been.
Oh my God. I was shell shocked. I am still processing. I am still trying to come to terms with what happens. There are things that I love, things that I didn't like, things that I like that I didn't understand, but things that I'm not disappointed in, but that I understand. It's a mess. My brain is a mess right now, people. Yeah. What is my brain? God.
Yeah. Well, yesterday, even before the show aired, I just had this feeling. I just had this overwhelming sense that something dreadfully wrong was going to happen. And I could feel like it building up in me. And I was sort of terrified, like sort of excited to watch the episode, but at the same time, sort of terrified what was going to happen. And it was like it sort of fulfilled my worst fears. And then, of course, then today on Twitter and everywhere, it just like everything exploded. And there's this big rivalry going on.
Like the explosions of this episode paled in comparison with the explosion on social media.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, let me just ask you quickly. Like, guys, I have a good slideshow put together. Tatiana has been, she's been sending me pictures all day, and I tried to get as many squeezed into a slideshow as possible so we can have a picture, like look at the pictures. You got some good ones of the, I was really impressed the ones that you got of some of the Smallfolk in King's Landing.
That was thanks to YouTube, actually, because usually I like rewatch the episode and try to like get screenshots, but actually I stayed up until like 5 a.m. watching review videos of people, like, and they have the screenshots, and so I like screenshot.
Yeah. So hopefully we won't get in trouble for borrowing. But technically they don't own them. So they can put their name on them, but they don't own them. They're owned by HBO. So anyway, that's going to be my argument.
Also, do you want to start with episode 4 and then go on to episode 5? Or the hell with episode 4, we're just going to go straight to episode 5?
Well, okay. So I've kind of put them in order of like characters. So does that work for you? Okay.
Sure.
So I have them in like, I have all of Dany's together, and I have all of Golden Company, and I have all of now. Okay, let me just ask you quickly. What was your overall impression? I mean, Asun and I have been talking about this, and I really want to have her on the show. We should have her on, don't you think? She's so great to talk with.
For like the last episode, like next week, we should talk with her.
Yeah, and Romy. We should try and have the girls on. I was just thinking it'd be so much fun because
why don't we do like a 5-way? Like me, you,
that doesn't sound dirty.
I mean like a 5-way communication thing, girl. Don't go there.
Okay, so we'll talk to Asun who wants to come on. So anyways, Asun has been like just on top of everything. Like, first of all, if any of you guys don't know, we have this really great group. We're really small. We're like maybe 45 people, and it's called
I think we're 50 actually.
Okay, we're 50 now. It's called the Game of Thrones Costume Analysis. So there's lots of other groups. There's lots of other there's like ones for cosplay, and there's ones for like suppliers and things like that. So ours is just kind of like, although we get into all kinds of things, but we're just kind of looking at the costumes and analyzing them and just sort of dissecting them. So that's sort of what our group is about. And it's really just for fun. And I hope it carries on even after the show's done. But
yes. I mean, people even go there to like look for advice if they're doing like a cosplay where they can find materials.
Yeah, like one of your friends did a really great cosplay. Wasn't that one of your friends? He did
the one with the Iron Throne. That she did an Iron Throne. Yeah, she I've been friends with her for like 8 years. I met her in college.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay,
I met her before college, when I was in high school.
So if anyone wants to join that group or check us out, you don't have to join. You could just, peek in. The link is in the description below, and it's the Game of Thrones costume analysis. So Romy and you and me and Aaron, we got a lot of admins, and Asun. But Asun's been sort of like really helping a lot. Like she's been so great. Like I didn't know how to deal with the spoilers, so she put up a spoiler-free thread and all that kind of thing. So I really want to thank you, Asun. And what else? So we've got that. So if anybody wants to join that, what's everyone saying here? Do you want to read some of the comments before we get into how people feel about how we want to talk about the costumes? Or
sure, let's see what we got here.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, no, the move was. Oh, yeah, Tatiana, I haven't talked about my move. The move was actually. It was really a lot of work. We had so much stuff because we moved complete houses. And we moved into we moved from a 3-bedroom into a 3-bedroom, but it's a much bigger house. So yeah, it was like crazy. But I actually, luckily, I had yesterday was my wedding anniversary, Tatiana. So I've been married. Yesterday was my 14th wedding anniversary. Yeah. So yesterday. And thank you to everyone who said congratulations. And then on top of it was Mother's Day. So it was just kind of like, just like really taking it easy. And Jack and I went out for a date on Saturday, and the kids wanted to come, but we wouldn't let them. They wanted to come on their date.
You guys come tomorrow.
Yeah, we told them, we're like, you don't want to go. We're going to be like kissy and looking into each other's eyes longingly. You're not going to want to be there, So yeah, so we had family look after them.
Where did you go? Do you have like dinner and a romantic?
We went for Mexican, actually. We went for Mexican food. Yeah, and then it was really, really. We've been to this place before. It's really good, like really authentic. And no, we didn't really do too much. And then we just kind of hung out at home after. We watched oh my God, we watched the Happy Time Murders. Which is
I've been wanting to, but there have not been very good
reviews. Yeah. But if anybody has ever seen Meet the Feebles by Peter Jackson, it's kind of along the lines of that. Like it's like one of Peter Jackson's earlier films. I thought it was a riot. Hi, Lady Laura Dane. Hello.
Hello,
oh, thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So tell me what your first impressions of, like, just in general, like the costumes and regarding, before we get into the plot and all that, what are your first impressions of the costumes?
You mean from like episode 4 or 5, or like in general?
Just the last two episodes. Sorry, honey.
Her red outfit for the feast. I would have liked it to be a bit more, ornamented.
Yeah.
Her other costumes are also ornamented. But I think what Michelle Clapton wanted to do with that one is to make the red the centerpiece, because this is the first time she is fully wearing red. It's like her red and black. She's like fully Targaryen, like bam.
Yeah.
No blue, no white, no gray. No, it's red and black. She has become a full Targaryen.
Yeah.
And and considering where she is, that helped to isolate her more, because she's like this red dot in the middle of white and gray. That is Starks.
Yeah.
And she's like, no matter what she does, she's never gonna belong.
Yeah, and then now it was weird though, because Sansa had that scale dress on, but it was in an odd. I don't know what the decision behind that was, having her at the banquet wearing that.
I was so angry because I wanted to like see it in the daylight. I just wanted like the sun sparkling all over that dress, because I could see like the texture is amazing. And I didn't see it. But you know what? You know what I was even more obsessed with than the dresses? The hair.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, because like recently I've been like really getting into like hairstyles. Like,
yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of hair. Like this is like the entirety of my hair. You can see like it's next to nothing when compared to like Dany or Sansa. But even then, I try to like mimic their hairstyles as best I can. There's some like this last one from season 5. Like I cannot do that in my hair. Like I will go bald. But I've been like really interested in the hair, and the hairs in these last 2 episodes have been a freaking amazing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I agree.
Like
I agree. I love Dany's hair in that when they have the straight braids going down and then just the swooping, like just a scoop around it. That was beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Oh,
I was so angry.
Laura Dane. She said that you look fabulous, Tatiana.
Stop. It's like, I just put it together. It didn't take me all day long. Like,
yeah, so that was too bad that dress was. I mean, I was really happy with that episode in that there was a lot more light though. Did you know? I mean, except for the banquet, everything else the lighting was really good. There was a lot of good lighting.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, considering it's firelight and not, modern lighting, it's pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
No, but I mean that the episode itself was a lot brighter than we've
compared to the long night of like a single light bulb in a dark room would be more light than what they showed in the long night. But I still do like the episode. I do like that episode. Another one that I really liked was Gendry's. I really like his coat. I really liked his coat. He looked good. He's like, I mean, he already looks good because but
yeah,
like,
so
here's like
this is funny because he actually wore that last year, but it was in such the scene you couldn't really see it. I think it was when they went into the dragon cave or the dragon glass cave to get the dragon glass, and you couldn't really see it because when they happen to when they find him in the, I don't know what do you call it, the blacksmithery, he is wearing just sort of like other clothes. And then but in that one scene, I guess where he comes to Dragonstone, he's wearing that jacket, but it was so quick you couldn't really see. And I remember I put it in one of my videos, but it wasn't until this episode that I really was like, oh my God, that coat looks so good. Like Asen had pointed that out as well.
Yeah, I sent you like pictures of his coat during the feast. I don't know.
I've got a few. Yeah, I've got a few of them.
Oh yeah, yay! Because like I sent you like a schnitzel ton of pictures, like bam, through Facebook. Because girl, I tried so many times to send it through email, but something always happened.
They came in my email, but I found them. It was weird because I found them in another folder. It was really weird. But then, no, I found them, and then I got them all from you. Don't worry. Yeah, the coffee cup. Okay, yeah, there was a few flubs. So there's the coffee cup, and then there was a flub that both Romy and Asen posted that with the hand. Because I was like, is that
Jaime's hand regrew in his last moment.
Oh,
his need for Cersei was so strong it could regrow limbs.
That is so bad. Like, I mean, honestly, they could have digitally removed that, even if in post. That was so bad.
They could have cropped that out. It was low on her back. He's just like, and you're done. But,
okay. So, should we start looking at pictures? What do you want to do?
Sure. So who do we start with? Let's start with Gendry. Where we're talking about Gendry. So.
Okay, let me just find the slides then.
Let's start with the people who stayed in episode 4. Like didn't move on.
Sure. Okay, so let me just I just have to. Jack's not watching me going, what are you doing? Okay, so here's Gendry. Okay, so here this is actually from the Battle of Winterfell, but I this is the coat here. And but what's neat about it, it's leather, and then it's got these like crisscross stitches that are sort of holding the seams together. It's a really interesting construction.
Definitely.
And it looks kind of like a doublet.
It actually does. It's it's like a long sleeve doublet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like jerkin doublet. I always get terms mixed
Yeah,
up.
jerkin. Well, it's funny because with jerkins can't have sleeves, so I always get confused too. But and then it's got the like the side lacing on it. But it's a really interesting thing. But the funny thing is, I don't know what you think about this. So they have this big battle of Winterfell, and then the people are wearing these costumes, and then the next episode they're wearing the same costumes. Did you notice that? So like Arya's wearing the same costume, and you're like, wait a second, that was like totally trashed. Why are
what did they use to clean up those costumes?
I don't know, because so here he is in the next scene here, and it's all cleaned up, right?
Yeah, I love those cross stitches. They just look so good.
It's beautiful.
It makes his shoulders look broader, which I'm not gonna say no to.
Yeah, and he was so cute in this scene. One of the things, I was thinking, it reminds me a little bit actually, because it's got like strips of leather that have been cross-stitched together, pinched and cross-stitched together. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Arya's boy costume. And that little yeah. It's funny. Yeah. By the way, I got like someone left the nastiest comment. I don't know what's wrong with people. This person left this comment about, I guess Aaron had said something called Arya's costume, her boy costume. That's why I'm calling it the boy costume. And then saying it was nice to see her in her cockles costume in Bravos. And then this person just started like tearing into me about it. And I was like, yeah, no, like she didn't choose that outfit. She just had to wear that outfit just to kind of, get through. And then the person was like, you obviously haven't watched the show, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, delete.
It's like Hunty, if I hadn't watched this show, I would not be talking about these costumes. So get your head on straight.
I've only done 50 Game of Thrones costumes. The Game of Thrones videos, I should say. They cleaned it with Valyrian steel OxyClean.
Industrial Valyrian steel.
Yeah. All right, Jose. We should market that. We could sell that product.
I mean, people buy just about anything. I'm sure Game of Thrones fan will love that.
Oh, no, hindsight. Sorry, no, that wasn't in the chat. Everyone in the chat is always lovely. No, this was on like actually one of the videos in the comments. So you wouldn't believe, well, Tatiana, you've seen some of the comments. You wouldn't believe the things that people write to me. It's a little bit mean-spirited. I like the mace accessory and blood splatter motif. Yeah, the mace, actually, that's someone mentioned, like I'm not a weapons expert. Let me just go back to this. Someone mentioned that this is like a Lord of the Rings style weapon.
I loved it.
I kind of like it because, obviously he's the one who smithed smelted or melted or whatever he did with all the dragon glass. He's the one who made these weapons. So it's kind of interesting. He was like, I'm going to make myself something really cool, really kick-ass and cool.
You know the really cool thing, because there's another photo, it was up in the chat, in the Facebook page.
Okay.
It has 7 sides. So it's basically like if you look at it from above, it's a 7-pointed star. Like
it's interesting, yeah.
The 7.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dragon glass majora. Yeah. It wouldn't work necessarily. Well, on the whites, it will kill them. It will kill the whites. They won't. What do you call it? They won't like dissolve or like explode like the Night King, but it'll wound them or kill them. I think I don't know if they have to get them in a certain part. Like the lore is a little bit mixed up there. I'm cooking right now, so I'm lovingly listening, says Linda. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so who do you want to look at next? Do you want to do maybe Sansa? I have lots of pictures of Sansa. Sansa?
Sure. But also, I feel so sorry for Gendry. It's like, honey, I was rooting for you too.
Yeah.
But I knew it was never going to happen because, again, as Ari said, this is not her. Although, after this last episode, I'm pretty sure being Lady of Winterfell of Storm's End, it started to sound pretty good. So,
well, it was funny because I know you and I had sort of talked about this, like just, wouldn't it be great if, she became the lady of the castle and, she would wear a dress. But of course we were like, yeah, we knew that wasn't going to happen. It was a nice thought though. Okay, so do you want to look at Sansa, or we could look at Brienne?
Either or.
Okay,
Let's go with Brienne first, since
sure.
she has left costumes.
Okay.
Also, Lady Laura, she says, by the way, Costume Co, if I could, I would drop a link to a very good channel called Men of the West. The channel talks about Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones comparisons, touching lightly on costumes.
Oh, okay. Well, if you put it, Lady Laura, if you put it in the chat, I will. I'll just approve it. I think it won't. You won't see it, but then once I approve it, it'll. Um, so just go ahead and do that, okay? If you have it, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, is Chrissy of Oldstones here? Oh, hi, Chrissy. You are here. Hi. Okay, so here's Brienne. Now, I know Asen really loved this robe. This is really a beautiful robe. I mean,
I
disregard.
know.
I mean, forget about the scene itself. I mean, a lot of people were really angry about the scene, but the robe is gorgeous. And then I just what I did is I just did a little bit of a crop on the right side, just so you can see the texture of the fabric, how nice it is.
Yeah, I love that, and I was so sad.
It's kind of like a chevron. You know, Michelle loves her chevrons.
Actually, yeah, it's a zigzag pattern.
A zigzag pattern, kind of really nubby, like just really beautiful. And I love the cut of it because it's sort of like nips in at the waist, and it's got that really full, gorgeous skirt.
And she just looks so flowy while still being strong, and she deserved better.
She totally did. It's funny. Yeah, he just looks so small. He looks so small next to her.
Is it weird that when I see this picture, they look like teenagers to me? He looks like a shy teenager, like next to like a girl that really loves him. It's like, oh, I'm trying, but it's like, oh.
Totally. I think it is wool. Yeah, it's likely some type of wool or. I've lost the chat here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it looks like a wool, don't you think, Tatiana? Like a nubby wool or wool blend.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Like wool and heavy cotton, maybe like a wool.
It could be a blend. Yeah, Michelle likes to uses a lot of upholstery fabrics and drapery fabrics. That's what I've noticed most of the suppliers for the costumes are. So, they tend to be I mean, I don't know.
Oh, he's ready.
Oh, he is. Where is he?
Yeah, in the chat.
What's that? Oh, is he? Where is he?
Oh, he just said on the chat that he's ready.
Who, Aaron? Are you talking about Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Here. Okay, you talk for a minute, and then I'll do that. Okay.
So Majora says, love Brienne's gown, so simple but brings out her feminine side. Good quality wool, but little embellishment because she's all about her natural beauty. I completely agree. Like if I were to design a costume for Brienne, it would be like very simple, like a really beautiful dress. It's all about her natural beauty. Like people don't see her beauty because she doesn't wear pretty embellished gowns, or she doesn't wear her hair coiffed or whatever. She doesn't wear makeup, and that's fine. Hers is a different kind of beauty. It's a new beauty. And for a shining moment, Jaime saw that, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, so when he was going back to King's Landing, what did you think was going to happen there? Did you think he was going to go back and try and kill her? Or did you think he was going to go back and just like, I can't be without her? What were your thoughts there?
Before this episode, I wanted to think and I wanted to believe that he was going to kill Cersei.
Yeah.
But when the meeting between Tyrion and Jaime happened, I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, that kind of broke my heart.
That scene just shattered me.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend do that to me once.
And you know the worst thing is, you know what the most amazing thing is? Tyrion is not the last Lannister left alive. If he dies, the house is extinct.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. It's like this freaking house has been so powerful for centuries.
Aaron!
Sorry.
Hi,
Hello.
Aaron. Sorry, Tatiana's a little bit excited you're here.
I am too.
Hi, Aaron. How are you doing? We're so happy you're here.
Just sleepy. Just watched the most recent batshit insane episode.
So you just watched it?
Oh God, yeah.
Anyways, if for you guys who don't know, Aaron's our third queen. He's been away, but we're so happy he's here to join us. Easton says hi to you. And
Hey.
yeah, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. It's been a fun little roller coaster, but it's about my surgery is somewhere in June.
Okay.
About the middle of June, so it'll be over soon.
Yeah, and are you home?
Right now, no, I'm in a hotel because I have an appointment tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And at that appointment, that's when we'll find out certain aspects.
Okay. So, Aaron, I haven't told anybody anything, so it's up. You feel free to say whatever you feel like. Okay.
All right. Well, it's nothing major, but if anything pops up, I'll just post it on the community tab.
Okay. So we're really happy to have you here. So Aaron's our third queen, and he is Aaron. Well, obviously we don't have you on camera, so next time, hopefully in the near future, we'll have you on camera. Chrissy says she hopes your surgery goes well. That's really, really nice. Thanks, everybody. That's very kind of you. So, Aaron, what we're doing right now, we're just talking about, we were talking about Brienne and the scene. I mean, just to let you know, we're going back because we didn't do last week. So we're just going to do that first. And then we're going to touch on the new episode. So you saw last week and then you just watched tonight, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're all caught up. Oh, and that's a reminder for anybody who's in the chat, there's spoilers. I should have warned that. And also, if you know any leaks, please don't use leaks. I was really lucky. I didn't see any leaks. Apparently last night's episode was totally leaked. Tatiana
it totally was.
I religiously avoided leaks or spoilers to the point where I would have cut a bitch with a rusty knife if they even so much as hinted at. I was Aaron before he watched the episode because I was watching the episode and I was like texting like reactions like oh my god, and he was like bitch, I will cut you if you tell me.
I told her I would skin her with a rusty nail file.
Yeah. Hi, Linda. Linda's here. Yeah, so I don't know, like last year I saw so many leaks and this year I was so lucky I didn't see any spoilers.
The only spoilers I saw was Gendry's Gendry's proposal to Arya.
So you knew about that one. Okay.
Yeah, that was the one leak that I saw, and it was because I guess somebody was able to upload it to YouTube. I don't know how these people work, but Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, it's really accurate. See, that's what happened last year. Last year I saw a leak, but it was totally wrong. It was that like Sansa was going to marry Littlefinger, and there would be a wedding. I think I told you this, right? They get married.
Arya was going to be there on the wedding night. She was going to be.
No, it turns out like it was actually Sansa takes off her mask, and then it turns out it's Arya underneath it, and then she kills Littlefinger, which I actually think that would have been kind of cool.
When I saw that comment, I kind of rolled my eyes a little. I was like, all right.
Well, I know, but there would have been a wedding dress. Like, there's been no babies. There's been no wedding dresses. I'm like, fuck. What? Nothing.
There are babies.
No armor. There's like no like
death at the moment.
Yeah, there's no dragon armor.
No,
I don't have anything.
There's really not. Sansa had a little bit of armor, kind of.
Well, yeah, the leather. But it's leather, like not armor.
Yeah, like no metal armor, no metal.
And then apparently women like the powerful women think they're impregnable to damage. So who cares about protection from anything?
Yeah. Even though there's like, all these scorpions shooting arrows. Okay, so are we done with Brienne then? Who do you want to talk about next? Should we talk about we could have with Jaime? Talk about
Jaime makes it to the next episode. Let's talk about Sansa.
Okay, so Sansa. So here's all right. So this is from the set, what do they call it? The funeral scene. And what I did here is like I just did a close up of the fabric because I'm going, like, does she have new costumes? So I think she has like 3 new costumes. So she has this one, which is no armor, just like this belt with a little fishy thing belt. And it's this sort of like interesting texture, but again, it's gray. So it's not like, anything.
True, and we also don't know anything about the filters and how that's affecting the fabric.
Exactly. So until we see this in a photo shoot or something. And so she's just go ahead.
I was more interested in her hair because I was so angry. Every time she like turned around, they kept cutting, so I couldn't see her hair. And like I could see like I could see that there was gonna be something fabulous back there, but they just did not give it to me. And I was so not happy.
Yeah, there was one scene where she turns around when she's talking to somebody, and then she leaves the scene, and then you can see it's like like they've done this sort of circular. It looks kind of a lot like her mother in some ways. I think. Like,
no,
I was
actually,
kind of thinking that too. It kind of reminded me of Caitlin just a little bit.
Yeah. What's that? Arya? Sorry, Arya. What's that, Tatiana?
Oh, thank you very much. I know that bad, but what I saw a video on how to do Sansa's season 8 hair, or at least her first hair before the battle, from Civil Plates, which I love her, by the way.
Oh, that's a great family.
And she said that what's interesting about Sansa's hair is that it's a combination of everything that happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you see closely, it starts with like a twist braid, like Cersei used to do before her hair was cut. It's like
wig.
One big twist braid, put into like a messy bun, and then like a 3-strand braid, like she used to do, like her mom used to do, and then wrap that around the bun, and then you put then you make what was it, Dutch braids, and then like the hair in the front, you make Dutch braids like she does, like the northern hairstyle that she does in season 6 and 7, I think it is. But then she ties it back under the braid like Daenerys does. Like it's styled in the way Daenerys usually puts her hair up in braids, and then like then one more braid down like Daenerys. So it's like a combination of all the powerful women that have influenced her life.
I think that her wig looks really good this year. Last year it looked like really high and kind of big, but this year it looks pretty good, I think. But her costume is just like it's pretty. I mean, there's lots of texture on it, but it's pretty boring. Like for me, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think this season has been kind of a little boring for me, if I can be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a little boring. I mean, like, I guess I can see people saying, well, it suits the character, it suits the tone, it suits, but like, when we're looking, we're looking at the costumes. I'm looking at the costumes. Like for me, it's not like a feast for the eyes, like I would normally have enjoyed.
Yeah,
so
it's still interesting. Don't get us wrong. It's just we're costume whores. We watch TV shows and movies for costumes. We might hate a movie, but we might love the costumes in it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now,
like I hate a bunch of movies, but I love the costumes in it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely. This outfit here. So Tatiana, this is just, she's wearing the corset over top of the same outfit. You can see when I did the close up on the fabric. Like Michelle always does find really interesting fabrics. So this is an example of a scene where I was saying it's nice and brightly lit.
Thank you. But yeah, I can see that that's the dress that was underneath the armor. So that's interesting.
In this scene, like, okay, so then I've got another picture. Let me go find it. So this is the scene where she's confronting Jon and telling him, we're your family too. So then here she's wearing it without the cloak.
Yeah.
Now this is obviously everyone loves this bodice piece here. It's really interesting. I've been sort of examining it, the way the leather strips sort of like crisscross over each other. I'm still like, there's something I know. I know it. I'm just like, okay, I know this. I can't quite figure it out yet. So I'm still sort of forming it out in my mind. Aaron, what do you think of this bodice she's wearing here? This sort of leather armor.
I don't hate it. But
But?
it looks a little out of place, but for her character, she can make it work. It works for her. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
It looks more like from what's that sci-fi movie? It looks like some kind of battle armor or something for like a Mars queen or something.
Yeah, it kind of looks, I think it's like a little bit insect-like. I think someone was saying that Michelle's been doing that a lot, like using like insects and beetles and
I remember because
and things like that as reference.
What was it, that prehistoric bug? I can't remember the name of it.
The one that we were talking about, that the one that is the shoulder pieces that Cersei's wearing.
Yeah, it's weird because it seems like it's all.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. It's like insects because like even the Golden Army.
Yeah, I think it kind of feels a little bit like Velociraptor. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Like, it has those side flap things that come up. Now, one of the things that was interesting, someone else had pointed this out, because she's wearing it here and it's after the battle, but she's still wearing it. And people were saying that she's wearing it as a way to guard herself against Dany. So what do you think about that idea? Tatiana, what do you think about this idea that now that the war of Winterfell is over, that Sansa's still wearing this bodice? Do you think that maybe is because she's arming herself against Dany? I mean, this is from last week's episode.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like she definitely doesn't trust her, and she's right. But
yeah.
I see it more as she's wearing an armor for her family, because if you think about it, she is kind of the second eldest, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you think like in the hierarchy of siblings, sure, her word is kind of also power over the Stark family.
Yeah.
Because she is the Lady of Winterfell.
Yeah, she's the matriarch. As my son would say, my son was doing a spelling test and they had to learn these words, and one of them was matriarch. And I said, what does matriarch mean? He goes, woman in charge. He says, kind of like you, Mom. And I'm like, you got it. Yeah, woman in charge. That's what she is. She's the lady in charge. Yeah, because Michelle had said this about Arya, that Arya is kind of just passing through, which I thought was interesting because she said this before this episode aired, and essentially that's sort of what she was doing, was sort of passing through. Whereas Sansa, I don't know, people were talking about her being on the throne. I don't think she'll be on the throne. I think she'll stay in the north.
Yeah, what she really wants right now is no longer like to be queen. She just wants to be Lady of Winterfell and rule the north. She doesn't care about the south.
Yeah. So what I wanted to show you is,
and also with Arya in that episode before the newest one, was her main goal was revenge, and I think she was planning on dying. And then, if you know what happens in this episode, you know how she changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jose says it reminds me of Cersei's armor during Blackwater, and that Sansa feels like, like her power is threatened, just like Cersei did against Sansa, influenced by people around her. Yeah, excellent point. So what I wanted to show you guys this. So we were talking about like how many costumes does she actually have. So here's another dress. Like, so you can see the texture under this, guys. It's slightly different, and it's almost to the black. So she's wearing the same armor, but this is the scene when she was meeting with Dany, when they had that sort of tender moment that all went to hell. So do you guys see that? It's a slightly different sort of fabric.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
So
I
I mean,
noticed
honestly, if
that.
I hadn't zoomed in, I would not have known. Oh, so Asen, you like this fabric too? Yeah, she likes it. It's just I don't know that it really
Yeah.
reads that well. Like it doesn't, unless you zoom in on it. Now, oh, this I thought was really nice. This is from last week's episode. I now she pulls this out. I'm not exactly sure if she pulled it out of her hair or she pulled it out of
No,
her
she pulled it
collar.
out of her dress. It's like tink, and
Where
then
was it?
she placed.
I thought it was a clothespin.
Where was it?
It was like a clothing pin.
Was it a clothing pin?
Yeah, I remember she had like because when she's like looking over Theon's body, you can see the Stark pin on her chest,
Oh,
and she
okay.
like
Okay.
puts it out and then puts it on him.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, as Majora said, this was. I really love this moment. Actually, I love this whole scene. That whole scene.
Oh, it was beautiful.
I thought it was beautiful. Although I thought it was a big waste of wood. I was like, guys, you're burning all that wood. Are you
I
going
would
to
have
need
been.
that?
I was sitting there thinking. I was like,
Well,
winter
it's
is
better
still
than
here.
just leaving them there to rot.
No, you take the dragons and have the dragons cook them or eat them or whatever. Oh my God.
That's your.
That is so sweet. I'm using the craft just left us the super chat. Thank you so much.
Oh.
They say Sansa only cares about an independent North, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. Yeah, she does.
Oh
And
yeah,
it'll
she
be
does
interesting to
because
see
of
what happens.
everything that happened with her father and other brothers, and she just
Yeah,
wants freedom.
I think that's what they need. Like they need to have their own. Yeah, I think that's what I kind of feel that's probably it's heading that way. I mean, depending on who ends up on the throne, but I don't think she wants the throne. Jon doesn't want the throne. I don't know who will. I mean, technically speaking, is there even a throne? Is it even there
I
anymore?
think it might be.
Did it not burn?
gone.
Oh, it's
Well,
metal.
in the preview, you can still see that the castle is standing. I mean, it's probably gonna
Yeah.
be with the roof caved in. Like the throne is probably gonna still be there, but with the roof caved in, like in Dany's vision in the House of the Undying in season 2.
Oh yeah, that one was burnt up with
Hi,
snow or
Angel
ash
Over.
falling.
Hi, Catherine Harding.
Oh, hi,
who else
and
is here?
Catherine.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Well, thank you so much, Amuse in the craft room, and thanks for coming. I don't think I've seen you in here before. I love that was very nice of you. We can buy a bottle of wine with that, you guys. we're gonna need it after this week's episode. Okay, so let me go next here. All right, Aaron, you watched last week. So this is the scene. So she's wearing this dress that we saw in the Entertainment Weekly. I think I have it actually here. She's wearing it in the Entertainment Weekly photo shoot. So what did y'all think of this look? I mean, I love it, but I don't know that I loved it in this scene per se.
I love it, but it's just with the filters and.
It's so dark.
It makes me so mad because it's clearly a gorgeous dress, but you can barely see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm hoping that that she wears it next week, like in the last. I mean, they have to come back around to up to the north again, or at least because like this week's episode, they didn't do any of the back and forth. They just kept it all in Winterfell. Or not Winterfell, sorry, in King's Landing. So I'm hoping next week we go back to King. Obviously, we'll have to at some point. So I don't know if they're going to do a back and forth or how they're going to actually do that. Yeah, it was absolutely wasted in the lighting. I know. So hopefully, I mean, and unfortunately, this isn't Michelle Clapton's call. She has no say in how things are used. She just, I guess, decides, okay, I need X amount of dresses for her. So this is basically her third dress. It seems like this season, Cersei's only had 2 outfits. Sansa's now had 3 outfits. I think I counted. I think there's only like 19 new costumes, not including the the Golden Company. Obviously, there was a lot of costumes there and all the background characters. But for the principal cast, there was only like 18 new costumes. It's sort of weird. And
there wasn't really anything new costume wise.
But I was saying to someone that they probably put a lot of money into the Golden Company costumes, but and then again, that was hardly even like used. It was I would be like, oh my god, I made all these costumes just to have them all set on fire.
That's what I read was because they the reason why they cut the elephants, because they were talking about bringing elephants over and stuff, was because of budgetary reasons, and they had to put it in different places. And then this episode we watched it, the Golden Company didn't do jack shit.
Yeah.
It was Euron who did most of the work.
No, I know they didn't do anything. So anyway,
here's absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So here's a front view of the costume. Now, I don't know if she's wearing her little feather collar there. I can't quite tell if she is or not, or if it's just the top of the costume. But at any rate, I really hope we get to see a close-up of this because, I'm dying to know what that looks like.
I think that's the top of just her collar.
The collar, yeah. So she's not wearing
maybe, but it's just so hard to tell because it's so.
Yeah, it's really dark, and this picture's a little bit not very high. Yeah, well here it is in the photo shoot, so it looks like I think it's just the collar, right? I think I can do that zoom in thing.
Actually, I think they might have added something.
You mean in the other scene?
Yeah, it looked like there was fur trim around the collar.
Well, that's what I was wondering. You know how she has that little collar she sometimes wears that is covered in feathers?
Yeah, like kind of like rabbit fur.
Why the circle chain though? What does it mean? Oh, I don't know. Michelle, the circle chain. Michelle came up with some really like crazy idea behind it. I read in an interview, like someone had suggested to me that it was, like it's the circle symbol. Oh yeah, that's what she was saying. It's the circle symbol. That it's a symbol of femininity, of female power or something. But I'd had other people say that it can be a symbol of virginity or no longer virginity. Like, she had the one with the line and then no longer the line. So I don't know. Michelle has all these like really crazy sort of symbolic reasons behind things. Some of them are a little bit on the nose.
She also wears similar jewelry constantly.
She should just go for broke and say, look, I tried it on the actress. It looked good on her. I liked it. So we did it. That's it. No more symbol. There's no bigger symbol than that.
Well, it's funny.
Everything has to have a symbol.
Yeah, it's funny because Michelle, if you see pictures of her in interviews, she wears these necklaces herself. If you notice, she'll wear multiples of them. So it's just basically like a metal sphere with a chain around it, and then she kind of twists them around the circle, and then lets it dangle. And I was laughing, and I'm like, she probably in a fitting, like literally, guys, this is what happens sometimes in fittings because I've done fittings with some crazy designers. And that's what they do. They'll be wearing something and they'll take it off and they'll put it on the actor. They'll be like, "Oh, that works." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I've had that happen before where it was a torn up. The skirt was like tattered and torn because it was supposed to be like the actress had run through like a thorn bush or something. You know what I mean? It was like it was a long, beautiful dress, and they were like, literally the photographer was like, "This isn't working for me." Literally just walked up, pulled like just a huge chunk of tulle out of it and wrapped it around her feet. And I was like, okay, that's good.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Oh, thanks, Dornish Wench. If I were being metaphorical, I'd say it's a needle threaded through an eye. Sansa having to find her way through chaos with precision, something like that. Well, she does have a needle though, right? The bottom, the anchor of the pendant is an actual needle. So if you look here, you can actually see it. So it's a giant needle with a hole in it. And Michelle gave her this ages ago. And now this she did say is, so, Arya has her needle, which is her sword. So, and then Sansa's, her power comes from her sewing. So that's her needle kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that was sort of her idea behind that, whatever you think about that. Someone says, oh, Linda says, I bought a smaller version in silver on Etsy. It's neat, but you have to keep adjusting the chain so it doesn't fall off. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Well, it's funny, like Linda, you're saying that. So Michelle, when she wears it, she does multiple twists around it. So here they just have it sort of threading it through. Whereas the way Michelle normally wears them. She takes the chain and she wraps it around the discs like 2 or 3 times to kind of
Yeah,
let
like she loops it, like she secures
She loops
it.
it several times. Yeah. So it's probably fastened to her harness there or something, just so it doesn't shift around. So anyway, so that's Sansa. So hopefully we're going to see something exciting for her for the finale. And then at the end, what we'll do is we'll have to do like a top 20, guys?
Is there
Ooh,
even
People
that
will do
many
a top 20.
costumes?
Now I just have to put this picture up here. Tatiana just sent this to me. I was like, hey now, who is this guy?
Burned
I was
alive and crispy
I
extra
was like,
14.
oh my stars, this dude is handsome. I'm like, where did he come from? Why couldn't this guy have been? Yeah, look at those eyes.
Look at the beard.
Look at the beard. Do you like beards? Do you
Not
like beards?
normally, but you know, I think exception.
He looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, don't you think?
Definitely, like I could see this guy playing like this Count Aragorn.
Holy cow. I was like, wow, this guy is stunning. Yeah. So, and I mean, actually, you sent me some really good close-ups, but we'll get back to that in a second.
That's where all the money went to, right there.
The helmets are beautiful. Yeah, we'll get back to this in a bit. But I just wanted to bring attention to whoever that hot guy is. So now I'm going to be on a search for who he is.
Oh, stop! Heidi's stalking. Jack, be careful. Look after your woman.
Oh, please. I'm allowed to look. We're happily married.
Heidi says, "Oh boy, I feel like I'm in a room filled with teenage girls." Almost.
Anyway, okay, so who are we going to look at next? Do you want to look at Varys? I only have a few. I've got, here. How about we look at Tyrion? Here he is. Sorry, my phone's ringing. So there's Tyrion. This is from last week's episode. So, one of the things I've noticed about him is he's been wearing he's been combining some of his costumes from last week to this week.
Oh yeah, he doesn't really have any new costumes. They just keep like interchanging.
Yeah, so he'll be wearing. Yeah, so he'll be wearing like his doublet from last week, or he'll be wearing he'll be wearing stuff from last season, like the chevron one, or the leather one, or the new one. So this one I think is just the leather one that he's wearing there.
Yeah,
and then this one is sort of like I'm not sure which one. Oh, is the chevron one here? Or this is just a plain black one. I can't even really tell. Yeah.
I was so happy in this scene. I was so happy in this. Well, before Bronn came in and ruined everything. To see Jaime be genuinely happy with someone who is healthy for him. I was like, yay, man! You go, boo. You go get your giant woman. It's like, and Tyrion is like. During the feast, I was so happy just looking at the three of them, just having a good time, just howling around. Like I could, in my mind's eye, I got like this vision of like Jaime and Brienne just like married with kids, and like happy Uncle Tyrion comes in and makes a fool out of himself. And they just go out drinking and just having a grand old time. I mean, it's never gonna happen, but
yeah, that's kind of like it reminds me of that breakfast that back in season 1, where like it's Jaime and who is it? Cersei, and the kids are all sitting around, and then Tyrion comes in. He's late and he starts eating bacon. I think it was veggie bacon because Peter Dinklage is a vegetarian. And they're all like, he's joking with the kids, and it was just like a real family kind of feeling, like a vibe. So it was sort of like just a little bit of a taste of that before Bronn. What did you think of Bronn in that scene?
I thought it was useless and pointless.
Did you?
It was funny.
I really didn't see the point in it, because it should have been kind of like what Tatiana was saying, more of a Tyrion and Jaime scene.
Yeah,
it's just Bronn coming in just threw it off kilter.
I have been a Braun defender for a long time because I love me some Braun. He's hilarious and everything. But this season, oh my God, why is he even here? Like
Yeah.
nobody asked for him. Nobody wants him there. Like he doesn't bring anything. I mean, he didn't kill Jaime. He's not gonna kill Tyrion because Dany's gonna make sure of that. It's like,
Well, I don't know. Danny's kind of on a free
why
for
are
one
you
right now.
here?
Yeah, I don't know, but
You know
I
who
don't
he
know.
reminds me of?
Ooh.
You know who he reminds me of? Have you ever seen the musical Les Mis? He reminds Braun reminds me of the Thénardiers. They are like the couple of thieves. They are like
Oh, okay.
real
Yeah.
a-holes, and they end up surviving the drama of
Mhm.
of
Yeah,
the
he
plot.
definitely does feel like someone out of like a Sondheim musical, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the point of him is. Yeah, so Majora says, I thought Tyrion's costume's lack thereof is him trying to blend into the background a bit. He's not in Dany's favor and he doesn't want to catch her eye. Well, I actually like the thing is though, the costumes are from last season and the my headcanon has always been that Dany's been the one who dresses him. Like she's the one who's outfitting her people. So anything he's wearing is basically what she's provided for him, whether it be the leather or and I mean, the blue, like for instance, this thing here, sorry, this is the chevron. So this is from last season. This outfit, which is very dragon scaly looking. I think this shows that was still on her side. But what's weird is they did this shift last week where they had him saying that he feared her, I was like, what? Wait a second. Where did that come from? Like he had never feared her before. And suddenly now he's fearing her. And so they did this.
You can't say he didn't fear her before because he feared her during the siege of Marine. When she came back and she was confronting him about, the actual siege. And he's like, okay.
She's the fucking mother. She's the mother of dragons. I would be
Well,
pissing myself in the same room with her.
That's because he totally fucked up, though. That's why he brought he reopened the what is it, the
fighting pits.
Or yeah, sorry, no, was that him? No, he did the thing. He was negotiating with the slavers when she was away, so she was just kind of pissed at him. But then she's like, okay, I'm going to handle this. And then at the very end, they had that really tender moment, remember, where she made him the hand of the queen, I should say. And it was a really tender moment between the two of them. And then they were on the ships and they're coming back to Dragonstone. And he gave her space when they got there. And she's like, okay, shall we begin? And everything sort of started off kind of, really, really nicely. She's Asen says the fear comes from the same place where all the other mess from the season comes from. Yeah. So it's the writing. So we'll just have to maybe say it. But anyway, so what I'm saying is that for me, like the dark, like everything he's wearing, I mean, this has been a Michelle Clapton thing, putting him in black. And like actually in this picture, you can't really see it, but the chevrons are actually blue. And then this is actually blue. Again, it's a bit dark, but it's like a nubby kind of textury blue. So, which we had said could be a callback to Khal Drogo, that color that she liked to incorporate into her costume. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I think like definitely by his posturing, I would say he's trying to keep out of Dany's sight. Like he was.
I mean, well, if we think about it, last season, he kind of cost her a lot of stuff. He cost her Olenna, some of the, what was it, the other Yara's Iron Fleet or the Unsullied and all that kind of stuff. So he's not sucking as the hand of the queen, but he's not exactly doing what I think we all expected. So definitely. I think he's trying to be like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm just gonna be behind this flame resistant shield. I'm just gonna be right over here. I'm gonna be in the bomb shelter.
Yeah, but sure. If you look at this doublet in another picture, it's a beautiful fabric. but I think it's supposed to be like dragon scale. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. I was pretty on board with if Michelle is telling the story through the costumes like she normally does, which is what she does, even if some of it's on the nose. Everything in his costume is saying that up to this point he's been on her side. Now in the Entertainment Weekly photo shoot, he has a completely different costume. So that I think either she's gone full Darth Vader, Empire, which is what we're looking towards, right?
Because it's interesting because the Entertainment Weekly spread where he has the new costume.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Japanese looking with like the obi and the shoulders.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that says like after what happened last episode, what happened last night, he's starting to go back into his Lannister roots because he does not want to be associated with her.
Well, I mean, think about it this way: there's only one person who can kind of be warden of what is it? Warden of the West?
Oh, bye, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
I was gonna say, hindsight, yeah. So Peter, he is a vegetarian, but some of his costumes are still leather. I know he requested. There's been some talk that he requested vegan leather, but actually, even with that, some of them were actually leather because I sourced them out. So
yeah, sadly, some things are.
Yeah, it's really difficult to make something look good if it's not authentic. It's the same issues with the fur. So she's tried her best to do synthetic furs, but it doesn't always work out and look that good. So unfortunately, that's what. Yeah.
Well, she also recycles.
What's that?
I read more that she recycles vintage furs and like vintage leather. So it's not like they're trying, but it's still difficult to replicate certain types of materials.
Yeah, Tatiana, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, that Angel Lover said about Bronn and Lena, that the actor that plays Bronn still gets jealous over Lena because apparently she's a touchy-feely person and he hates when she touches other people, which bullshit.
Well, I heard so. Well, they used to date apparently and they hate each other. That's what I'd heard. They can't stand to be in each other's company, which is why they're never in a scene together, apparently.
But they were in the scene this season.
No, they were. No, they weren't. No, they have Qyburn do the.
Oh, Qyburn. Okay.
They get Qyburn to do it.
And even when the dragon pit meeting happened, Bronn left before Cersei could arrive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with him, but I kind of feel like we're getting a lot of these dead ends, right? We're getting a lot of these dead ends on some of the stories, and his just feels like it's a dead end. The same with like, Tyrion potentially being a secret Targaryen, or the idea that Dany was pregnant, or
the thing that pisses me off is we have him. And most of these characters who are so spoiler, most of these characters who are dropping like flies or just disappearing.
Yeah.
But we have like Gendry, who's been fucking rowing for like 4 seasons, and he proposes Arya and then he just tucks his tail and goes to storm in. Like, are you? Come on, we can't get more of him. We can't get more of Davos. We can't get more of, even Brandon or Bron. What is his name? Brandon. Yeah, like just more scenes with him with his siblings, because at least when he's with them, it's kind of like he has a little bit of emotion.
Yeah.
Even just a smidge more than usual, but it's just.
Oh, bye, Linda.
These things.
Oh, bye, Linda.
Linda's got to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, guys. I've got Jon here. You want to talk about Jon?
Sure.
One of the things I was going to say. This is the first one thing I want to say. This is maybe a bit of a continuity thing. So for the funeral scene, Jon is wearing his armor, but for the Battle of Winterfell, Jon is not wearing his armor. Doesn't that seem like a disconnect?
That is stupid beyond belief.
Like, I didn't get that at all.
I mean, he didn't really do anything. No. It was a female who handled the situation. So.
Yeah. So this is the coat. Like this is a new piece he has for the season, and I love it. I think okay, so this scene it's good because he's wearing it, he's traveling, or he could wear it like in the castle. But I guess for the funeral scene, I could potentially see why he would be wearing it because he's like, okay, I want to be as formal as possible. But for the battle, he didn't have to wear the cloak, but he should have at least have been wearing the armor and the gorget and all that, right?
I mean, even Arya was armored up. You know what I mean? Even I think Sansa was wearing
Sansa had her armor,
harness, her corset.
I think the idea is that Arya doesn't really kind of wear armor, but she's sort of like stealthy in a way. She's like assassin stealthy.
She's still wearing like quilted padded.
She's wearing like a gambeson kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Which is what the men and the soldiers in Winterfell wear. But with him, it was just like barely a gambeson. Like it was just this thing. It was just this leather coat. This is what he wore. Yeah, and that looks more like what Jaime would wear under his King's Guard armor. Like that looks like the protective layer that goes between your skin and the armor.
Exactly. It's kind of like a gambeson, but normally he wears like here he's wearing the gambeson underneath, like but a different one. He wears the quilted one, and then he wears this armor coat of plates over top. So I just thought that was really a strange thing. But Jon hasn't, besides this outfit here. Now, the one thing is at the very beginning of the season, we were talking about he had a belt that had scales on it, dragon scales, but there's really been no other indication that he's linked to Dany in any way. Have you noticed like he didn't wear a red scarf? There's been he just sort of like just got weirded out by the ant thing and has just sort of pulled back completely.
Yeah. Lately, girl, it's been since episode 1.
Yeah.
Of this season. But yeah, that is going back to episode 1. That was why the magical dragon ride was so important, because that was like the last vestige of happiness that Dany was ever going to have and Jon was ever going to have before Schnitzel hit the fan.
Yeah.
And Schnitzel hit the fan bigly. Very, very bigly.
Bigly. Yeah. So here he is. So this is from last night's episode. And so, so in this battle, he is wearing the armor again. He's got his gorget and he's got his coat, his brigadine or coat of plates or whatever you want to call it. There he is there. And there's Tyrion as well. Wearing his chevron coat.
Wait, what the hell? He's wearing it here, but he wasn't wearing it with the old Night King situation.
Yeah, it's Herman. But hey, Cindy, Herman's bum's mom. Cindy says, but he has never addressed the ant thing. Yeah, I was expecting when he broke away from, like he says, "I love you, Dany," and then they start kissing, and then he pushes her away. I was expecting him to say something like, "But you're my aunt," or just I don't know, like. I need time or something. Like people are going on about how they broke up, and I'm like, but did they break up? Like I didn't feel like I'm like, did it happen off camera? I didn't feel like
did they even like actually start a relationship, or were they just nookie-ing? Like that's my.
Yeah, well, she told him in the last episode that she loved him, and then he told her in this episode that he loved her. But I think he meant more like I love you as my queen, not I love you as in a romantic way. But obviously he does. But he's, it seems to me like he's battling.
He's got too much honor to do that because, they made a comment about like, oh, Targaryens are marrying their first cousins and siblings for years, and then I think it was it Varys or Tyrion who said, yeah, but in the North they don't marry their aunt.
Yeah, I think everyone in the comments has got this right. Like I think what it is that it's just so rushed that you can't possibly, even if it was written on the page, like to squeeze that into an episode.
This season seems so rushed. Like
it's so rushed. Yeah,
7 seasons to build up these characters, build up their stories, and now. It's all like, okay.
And I was laughing because I was like, it took them months to travel. In the first few episodes, it took the first few seasons. It took them months to travel. And that was We're
And then
having
all
like
of a
an
sudden,
entire battle
all
in
of a
one
sudden, Lord
episode.
Varys is like the Flash or something.
Exactly. So, well, one of the things I had read is apparently HBO didn't want the season to end. Obviously, it's like a big cash cow for them. So they wanted it to go on for a couple of more years. And then George Martin said that he wanted it, he said it could have gone on for several more seasons. So they've tried to take.
D&D just made me so freaking mad. They literally
Yeah.
turned down money not only to make more seasons. I mean, if they didn't want to make seasons, I mean, that's sad, but fine. But they rejected money to make a longer season, like to make at least an 8-episode season.
Yeah. Yeah, Linda
Like,
says they lost interest and wanted to move on. My husband said, why didn't they just hand it off to someone else then? Like I could see them getting like, being like, oh my God, we've been doing this for 8 years and,
yeah,
I don't get to see my family and, that really sucks. But I mean, they could have still stayed as executive producers and just handed it off to somebody else. Like, I mean, there's other shows that have run much longer than that. Like we were talking about Supernatural has run for 12 seasons. And I think they're just now going to how many? 14? 14 seasons. Oh, yeah, you're right. Because I started watching that when my son was born. Yeah, they could have given it to George. So anyway, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, obviously, and then George Martin said that, sometimes they're dealing with not just the producers and the showrunners, but they're dealing with the executives of like HBO who are like, well, we want it to be, we want this to happen. And so there's a lot of things, going on. But one of the things that Asun said, and I really feel bad for Michelle Clapton because one of the things she stated in an interview recently is that she isn't going to be doing the prequels. And that I think it seems to me like, she left in season 5. I never even connected that she left because maybe things were not hunky-dory for her. I just thought she left because she wanted to go do The Crown, but perhaps things weren't that hunky-dory for her. And so she left, but then she came back maybe after having some time away. She needed a bit of some time away. But Asun had pointed out that some of the stuff feels like it's a little bit phoned in by her. Like I made the joke that when we get to Dany's costume, that the costume looks just like her other costume from last season. And I made the joke, well, they had the pattern. It was sitting on the rack. So she just called up and said, hey, can you cut that out of some red cloth for me? Like literally phoned it in. So, but also just all the, oh my God, all the breakdown that must have gone on in this with all the battle stuff. So it wouldn't have been fun. It wouldn't have been fun. Like if I was a designer on this season, I'd be like, oh my God, this is awful. I don't want to do this. What do you think,
mean,
Tatiana?
I already feel guilty. I feel guilty when I see like a beautiful costume be distressed.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine all those costumes just being destroyed.
Yeah, and it sadly it happens. I've made and worn beautiful costumes, velvet, whatever, and I'll be walking around and it's dragging on concrete or stone and fraying and tearing apart. It's just it's a sad sacrifice for some things. And of course you can be careful, but it can still happen. I've seen wedding dresses that were stepped on or something.
Oh, hey, John. John's here. Hi, John. How are you? He says they're under contract to finish. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So if you're like, you've got a contract, you have to finish, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm just done or whatever kind of thing. I don't know what the terms are that, go on behind the scenes with John or with Dave and Dan or with Michelle or any of the people. But I mean, I think she did. I think she tried. Like, I think she did her job. It's just not up to, like I always say this about Game of Thrones, they set the bar so high that when they lower the bar, we just kind of get
You
upset.
notice it.
Because they're the ones who they're the ones who set that standard to begin with, right? If they hadn't set the standard so high, we wouldn't be as disappointed by things.
Yeah, and also the other thing is too is going back to the comment earlier with costume designers working with directors and executive producers and that kind of stuff. You'd be amazed by how many costume designers, because I worked on a few films and TV shows, who have refused to come in because of some amount of drama with a director or an actor or something. Like it's a show, and I bet you Heidi can tell you stories as well,
Mhm.
where something
Oh
can just
yeah.
go wrong, or a certain material just doesn't want to work right, and you just wasted like $550 something per yard. Like it's drama, pure drama.
Yeah, Linda,
Basically.
the rumor about Doom of Valyria, actually I had she's just saying she heard one of the prequels was going to be about the Doom of Valyria. So I had the Dragon Demands on my show. He's actually the guy who does the Wikia, like the Game of Thrones Wikia, and he does all the costumes. So I had him on. It was really interesting talking to him about that. And he's actually a medieval historian. That's his academic background. So I had him on, and he did a what's called like a he got a scoop about them doing a prequel of the about the Doom of Valyria, and so it's called oh, what's it called again? Something of Ashes. Something of Ashes. Sorry, I have the video up. So if you guys want to, what's it called again? Something
Kingdom
of
of
Ashes.
Ashes? Or no, or Empire of Ashes.
Empire of Ash. That's it. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't have it on my brain there. So I do have a video about that up if you want to watch, or you can just go to the Dragon Demands. He does like a bunch of stuff, but he's a really funny cat. Like I've talked about him before. He he has like a bit of a hate on for Dave and Dan. So he did this video called "Why David Benioff Hates Brown People."
Wow.
And actually he gave some fairly sound reasons behind it. So, and of course this whole thing that happened with Melisandre, everyone was like, furious about it. So
Yeah.
what the dragon said about that is that he thinks that probably just Dave and Dan didn't even really think about it. Like, oh, we took a woman of color who had been in chains and enslaved, and then Danny broke the chains. And then when Cersei gets her back, she decides to immediately put her back in bondage, in cuffs. So he was just like, Dave and Dan probably didn't even think that would even that probably didn't even occur to them, that would be a problem for people.
Yeah. That was very, very bad planning. Ooh, bad planning.
Yeah, Linda says she's watched. Yeah, his Linda, his videos are long. I know. It was funny because I had one person who watched one of the videos I did with him. And what happened was we did this video and then we decided to make it into a 2-parter. So I think I talked to him for 5 hours, and you know how I get after like 5 hours. I'm like, ugh. So finally, but yeah, because he's not really like he doesn't really know brevity that much, but he's a very, very interesting person and very smart. A really interesting person to know. So it was kind of fun for me, but yeah, it was pretty long. It's just hard to talk to someone for 5 hours, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. me and Tatiana have gone like 8 hours on the phone before.
You guys are young. You get to be my age, can't really.
Well, the thing that me and Tatiana talked about before is that how characters of color or characters of like different sexualities are always killed off at these shows so constantly. Like she has the fear of God that they're gonna kill what's his name, Celine, on American Gods. Are they gonna do something to him?
Oh, Celine.
Yeah, me. Oh, definitely me. Well, I am in constant terror that Salim is gonna get killed. Like I live in fear of my baby cinnamon roll.
See, I can't remember because in the books, I don't remember him being like that big of a character in the books. I think they expanded his character, so I don't really know. You know what's funny? That show just went only 8 episodes. Is that it for season 2?
Yeah, there's 16 episodes total.
I was expecting there to be another episode, and I'm like, what? That was it? Just that was the season 2 finale? Like, really?
Yeah. Well, I liked it. I mean, was I expecting more? Sure. But I did like what I saw. I liked new tech boy. I loved his costume. Girl, we have to talk about American Gods costumes.
Okay, we'll do that on the next. We'll do that on the next.
We'll do that in another video.
Yeah, Lady Laura Dane. Yeah, he's not. I don't think Salim was gay. He's in a gay relationship. Yeah, he's in a gay relationship with the Jinn.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we'll have to do that on another episode. So all right, so let's move along here, folks. So we're talking about Jon here. Jon, blah 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 blah. This was a good picture you sent me, Tatiana. Now, one of the things I was like, all right, what was with all of the northern men like raping and pillaging? What the hell was that all about?
That is.
Well, actually, I recently just watched the episode, and I actually watched the little behind the scenes snippet.
Well, here's a really, I think Tatiana gave me this good picture here.
And
There's,
in it,
I don't know where this guy's
they were talking about how when they're going in, they know it's a war, it's a battle, but when Dany just starts going Mad Queen, they think it's a free for all.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but if you
Also,
think about it,
yeah, that's
like
true.
Vietnam, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Hey, Peter.
also, oh hi. Also, there's also the you have to think about how much the crown has frogged, for a better word. They frogged the North over many times. They killed their lord.
Oh, sorry, guys.
They killed their king. They have basically just dumped turds on them left and right. So when they were unleashed by Dany going ape shit, they just said, you know what? You deserve retribution and you deserve punishment, and that just grew into utter bloodlust.
Yeah, and it's a shame because those people had no part in that. But when you're in such a blind rage like that, you just see it's like a shark when it smells blood. Its eyes rolling back in its head. It doesn't care. It just wants to get what it can get. It's like I'm taking you with me.
Oops. Because I was gonna say that like normally there's a battle commander, and I didn't feel like there was a battle commander on this. Maybe Jon was supposed to be the battle commander, but there was just too many, it was like little it's like every group was sort of overlooking their own little armies, so the Unsullied would overlook the Unsullied.
Well, I mean, it's also like bandwagoning. Like, are you really going to follow?
Yeah.
Are you really going to follow your leader when this other leader,
like mob mentality?
is killing and pillaging?
Well, I guess they were sort of looking to the queen to sort of set the tone, and she set a really terrible tone.
Let me tell you something. I've seen that crazy look in her eye before with my mother and sister, and I know to get the hell out the room.
Yeah, I know. There was some, like, Tatiana sent some really funny, like some of the pictures were so funny of her face. Like, I feel bad actually for Emilia Clarke, because she'll probably have those pictures haunting her the rest of her life. Like, they'll be made into so many memes and stuff,
Well, it's the internet, so what do y'all expect?
So, and then, all right, so there's Jon and his guys, and then here's the northern men. I don't know. Okay, I don't know exactly who these dudes are. I can't. Can you tell who this is? Oh, they're Lannisters, or sorry, not Lannisters. They're Starks from Winterfell, right? Yeah. So just some different armors here, and then somebody was laughing, like, what is it that Jorah does again? Like, what is it? Okay, shouldn't that guy be dead by now? Like,
Davos.
Davos. Sorry, yeah, Davos. Shouldn't he be dead by now? Sorry, yeah, Jorah.
Jorah did bite the bullet. What are you talking about?
Did you see 2 seconds ago?
Yeah, so Angel Over says Northern soldiers going wild makes me think of how American soldiers acted during Vietnam. Many George R. R. Martin's other works are anti-war, and he was a contentious objector. Yes. Yeah, I know he's trying to sort of show, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in the books, but he's trying to show the horrors of war. I just want to say for one that Canada wasn't in Vietnam, so you know.
Yeah.
We stayed out of Vietnam. Majora Mormont. Majora Mormont, dat me, says Majora. That's so funny. Jorah, poor Jorah.
His ass died.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Like with Dany, like, I was thinking about this too. Like, she lost Melisandre and she lost her dragon, but I was thinking, I wonder if Jorah was still there, if she would have, like, she just didn't feel like she had anybody beside her. I was almost like,
Well, yeah,
what?
she's losing all of her.
I
She's
was like,
losing
girl, why don't you
everything.
just call up what's his face over in Essos? Remember her boyfriend over there?
Oh, Dario.
He's probably
Yeah.
dead at this point.
Call up Dario and tell
Probably.
him to get back to, to Westworld. I was gonna say to Westeros.
Oh,
Yeah. Apparently there is a Game of Thrones park in Westworld, someone's mentioned.
A
That'd
Game
be
of Thrones
awesome.
park in Westworld?
There's a
Honestly,
Game of Thrones theme park in Westworld.
Oh no, that's I know what you're talking about because I haven't never watched Westworld, so don't.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah. Well, there's
But I've
multiple
seen the
parks.
original movie.
Yeah,
and
they
in
have.
there was Medieval World.
There's Medieval World. Yeah. So someone had made a joke that there's a Westworld in or there's a Game of Thrones world in the Westworld universe, which would have been pretty funny. I thought the second dragon might come back and wasn't really dead. I would have loved that. It's like a Monty Python thing. Yeah, Danny has no emotional support. Poor Danny. And then, there's Jon. Oh, it's funny. The other thing was the helmets. But now this picture, wow, is that blood? Holy cow. It's like major blood splatter there, guys. Look at that on the camera. Is that on the camera?
I think that's dirt.
Oh, is it dirt? Okay. That was blood splatter. Yeah, so she had to do these. One of the things I have to say, I really dig these little quilted jackets these guys are wearing now.
Yeah.
And watch, there's gonna be an armored expert. And that's not real leather, and that's not real.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's probably it would have been cloth off a lot of the time, like linen or something. It only takes one person to overstep a boundary, and the masses will follow. So yeah, I think that was sort of what the idea was there, right? So
look at it this way with Mussolini's execution.
Mm-hmm.
That they were hanging the bodies. It's mob mentality. You're pissed off, somebody does something, and you just follow with.
Yeah, one of the things I saw that really horrified me after World War II, they took this woman and she was, I guess she would have been like a Nazi sympathizer, and they dragged her out into the streets and they tied her up to a chair and they shaved her head, like just in the street.
Yeah, they did that to multiple women.
Yeah,
because they were shamed for like having children with Nazi men.
Yeah. Even though,
and they would force them to walk through the concentration camps and look at the dead bodies.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you supposed to do during a time when you're occupied and you're you don't know how to feed your children, and it's just like, yeah, that really horrified me.
Again, it's mob mentality, and people. Okay, here's the thing: you're never gonna get full revenge on people who screw you over. So then your next thought is, I'm going to try and hurt as many innocent or people who are involved. And if you think about it, if you think about King's Landing, the people in the North would have been suffering from probably overtaxing and all this stuff because of the rebellion that they caused, yada, 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 yada. And now they're thinking like the people in King's Landing are having, easy street, like they're eating porridge and that kind of crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then here's a picture of the Lannister army.
I felt
it's a pretty good shot
for them all.
Well, yeah, especially because sorry, everybody, when they drop their swords and then they think, okay,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's a surrender. That's a
surrender. The war was over,
and the bells had rung, and then Danny goes crazy when she hears the bells.
Yeah, and the thing that
actually
the thing that really felt so bad was these men were taking orders and they refused orders.
I think that's against the Geneva Convention, isn't that?
Yeah.
Do they have the Geneva Convention in Westeros?
I think they have. Whoever has the biggest ass dragon wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Who has more firepower?
Okay, so why don't we move on to the Golden Company?
Okay.
I'm kind of pissed off by the Golden Company because I remember reading the books and like the Golden Company was like the company. Like if you hired these people, they would whoop ass and take names. If you died, your contract would be transferred over to your children.
Oh wow,
if your thing wasn't carried out, and they're eye candy, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, well, I remember because in the books they have like all kinds of crazy shit in their army. You know what I mean? Like, here it's just these fancy guys in gold armor.
So in the books, Aaron, what are they all wearing? Like different types of things, or what?
Well, the thing is, they're all sellswords. I don't.
Okay, so they wouldn't be
It's been a
uniform
while.
like
It's
this.
been a while since I've read
Sure.
it, but I don't think they actually have a uniformed look. I think they might have like a brooch or a banner,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
don't think they actually have like the Lannister armor or the Darth Vader Queen Guard.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like in the fan art I've seen, they wear like cloaks, like gold cloaks, but it doesn't look like it's necessarily everything else isn't consistent.
Yeah, and the thing that kind of is what confused me was I think they were trying to get away from that because they kind of did something similar with the Dornish Guard.
Yeah.
With that, armor that's could cause a shit storm, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But
Yeah. I actually,
Yes.
by the way, I hidden that video for now because I just got to the point where I couldn't handle any more people insulting me. So I've just hidden it for now. So if you guys go to look for that video, it's not there.
I was wondering because I would always go to that video and just like delete or like try to diffuse the situation the best I could. But
Yeah, I got to the point. I was just like, okay, and I was in the middle of moving, and it's Game of Thrones season. I'm just like, okay, I can't deal with these people, so I just muted it for now. Maybe I'll put it back later.
yeah.
Who do I gotta punch?
Oh, there's just too many people to punch. It would be like a laundry list of people.
I'm not wasting my limited energy on them, so they
Yeah, no kidding, Aaron.
They can suck it up or shut the hell up.
Yeah.
But what video? What video?
Oh, the top 10 worst Game of Thrones costumes.
Oh yeah, the kitty shit. It's fine.
That's good.
Okay. So here's like a sort of you guys cracked me up with the Walmart Jaime. So here's Walmart Jaime. And this guy, like, he didn't really like, I was like, they could have given this role to anybody. It was such a small, insignificant role.
Did he even have any lines?
Hell, you could have put a Muppet. You could have put Elmo as freaking Harry Strickland.
I think
and he would have
done a better job.
Exactly the same job.
Oh, so yeah. So Peter Griffin's saying that Arya got his horse. That's his horse. I felt like that was a very Blade Runner scene. The one with the horse, the white horse.
I wouldn't know.
It's strange, and I just heard like my dad just texted me because he's watching it right now. But he just said he thinks that somehow the horse is symbolizing that Arya is pregnant or something.
Really?
Or something.
That could be.
My dad is also crazy as hell.
That the white horse symbolizes that she's pregnant? No.
That is like a new beginning or something.
No, well, maybe you could read it as that, or you could read it as death sitting on top of a white mirror.
Yeah.
True.
So she has become death.
But this is the same man who believed that. Actually, no. He truly believed that Arya was going to be the one to fuck up the Night King. So you know what? He was right about that. He was wrong about one thing.
Yeah. Hindsight says, oh wait, no, she says Herman Bumsima says, oh wait, sorry. I keep saying. Majora said when Harry Strickland's horse got a bigger role than he did. Poor Walmart Jaime. Oh my God, you guys crack me up. Oh. So anyways, okay, so I mean, I sort of had voiced how I felt about these costumes. What do you, and Asen said what she thinks. What do you guys think?
Oh God, those horrible pants. They have to go.
Those MC Hammer pants. I don't like them.
I don't like them.
They look like a dirty diaper.
Oh my God.
That's what Asen called them, I think. Asen, was that you or Linda who called them a diaper? Somebody called them a diaper. Yeah, Harry forgot to zigzag. Okay. We will say that the pants were a poor choice. I think like someone was saying to me, it's kind of like got an Ottoman Empire kind of, Middle Eastern sort of feel to it, which I totally.
It gave me Russian. I thought they were going to drop their. I thought they were going to drop their weapons and start Russian dancing. That's how bad.
Sarah, she emailed me a picture. There was an American Civil War uniform that was kind of like that. But again, you don't wear the pants like super high waisted over your armor. That's just kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
You would generally tuck that under because it almost
Yeah.
reminds me of how like women would wear their under supports, like their corsets and their crinolines.
Yeah.
They would wear it, stacked up on top to carry the weight.
That
So
guy on
are
the
they
far left
saying
here, his pants are
he has a
really high.
wedgie?
Look how high
He has
his
a
are.
wedgie.
Yeah, and then I thought the armor was kind of goofy looking, but then when you look at some of the close-ups, it's not so bad. It's actually nicer. I thought like it looked like it was just like painted with like craft paint.
You know what
That's
it
what I
reminded me of?
thought.
It reminded me of the damn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like their shells.
That's what I said. That's well, Harry Strickland's especially. I was like, it kind of feels tortoise shell like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Peter says, at least they won't split open when they kneel down. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have a problem with them being like a a pantaloon, I suppose. But I think if the armor was on top and then they've got these
It hides the armor.
It hides the armor, and then I don't even know. Like, I would love to know from a weapons expert, like an armor expert's point of view, would this be a hindrance to the armor? Like, I would think, why would you wear the pants over top of the armor? I think it would be better to have them underneath. And then Linda says, weird draping on some of them, hate the sigil on their shields. Okay, yeah. So what do you guys think of these? I was actually kind of intrigued by it.
It looks like the kind of shit you see when you go into like a skateboard shop.
Yeah, or a head shop.
That it's colorful.
It's like a spear with a bunch of skulls. Like it's like very Walking Dead. Look, we collected our skulls.
But why the fuck are why are shields? I just said the F word by accident. But why are their shields purple, man? Like, and what's the white little after spray that's on it?
Texture.
It looks like a 14-year-old was given a spare tire rims.
You know what it looks like? You know what it looks like? It looks like some weirdo spray painted on the car on the hood of their van.
Like graffiti? Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, totally.
It looks like that urban puka shell bullshit or whatever.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Yeah,
and the spear itself, like the spear.
It looks more like what's that? Okay, if there are any children present, it looks like a butt plug.
Last time we got into some adult thing, and I said no one under 13 is allowed in this chat.
Lol.
Dornish Wench said that's a shame. Anyway, I don't know. I didn't totally hate it. Like I wonder if George had described their sigil and maybe this is what they went with, or is this just something production came up with?
I can't tell you what the sigil is because it's been such a long time.
It is supposed to be different. Okay. But you have to tell me that you have to agree that the helmets are stunning. I love the helmets.
The helmets are cool, and I actually like the back of the armor a lot more than the front of the armor.
I don't know if I have a picture of the back though. I don't think I have a picture, unfortunately. What does it look like?
It was more kind of like it had a little bit of filigree and swirls to it, but the armor itself, I just still don't
I kind of like they're all wearing different coats underneath, like different gambesons. Like this guy's got like a gold ribbed one, and then this guy's got like this interesting sort of leathery with this little diamond print on it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So she has tried to give them each like a bit of an individualistic look to them.
Yeah, because they're not like an army. Oh.
Like but the problem is that they were just like torched so quickly that we didn't really even get to see them in play. You know what I mean?
They're
supposed to be like the most fearsome sellsword company in the world. They never break contract. First thing they did, they broke the contract.
Yep. Oh, the company commander's skulls are dipped in gold, so that might be the reason for the sigil.
Oh, maybe. Also, Angel Lover said the same guy that did the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo did those shields.
Oh yeah. Dornish One says Elmo is Azor Ahai. There you go.
There you go.
I was actually saying that they thought that that video
video
was a better fitting
Just real quick, because I've missed it because of the being in the hospital and the treatments and whatever. But Melisandre's death confused and pissed me off so bad.
Mhm.
Why?
It's like she just gave up. She was like, okay, I'll take next off. Bye, peace.
No, she
All
didn't
right,
give
girl.
up. She was done. She didn't
Bye,
give
Lady
up.
Laura
She
Jane.
had done her purpose.
I know, and I
She
understand
did there
that,
for the
but whenever it
She
first
wanted
happened,
it,
I was just like,
she was
what
finally
the
at peace.
hell?
Now she could finally rest because girl, she is not a hot 30-something woman in real life. In real life, she is like a 400-year-old hag that just wanted to rest.
She was like, this is my last hurrah.
And she didn't get a new costume either. That was my biggest issue with her.
Oh yeah,
she shows up like, you know, on a horse just before the battle, and it was windy, and I'm like, oh my god, they could have had something really like cool and floaty on her, you know, kind of like when she was wearing that red dress on the beach.
Oh yeah,
blowing in the wind. But no, they had her old cloak on her.
I mean, the cloak isn't ugly, so I mean.
No, I love the cloak. Don't get me wrong, but she's worn it for 7 seasons.
Oh, yeah. Bye, Lady Laura.
But at least it's not like Jorah's shirt. So
Jorah's shirt, yeah, that's true.
I think that shirt outlived him.
Well, it's probably still in Old Town, isn't it?
Old Town?
Yeah, it's still there. Maybe he gave it to the Maesters. Okay, so now we've got Arya. So I don't know if you were here, Aaron, for this. Yeah. Aaron, I don't know if you were here for this, but we were talking about, you know, so they did the Battle of Winterfell. And now she might have been wearing the leather skirts, not this skirt, but we were laughing because we're like, hey, how did she clean this outfit? Like she was filthy. And then now she's back in it again, and the cape and everything. So, so she hasn't had a new costume. Now, the funny thing is, in the photo shoot, I posted a picture in our group and with her weapon. And then in that picture, there was actually a little hint of what her new costume looks like. And then in the photo shoot she did for when she's sitting on the Iron Throne, she's wearing the new costume, but we haven't seen it. So I'm assuming that she must be wearing it next episode because it's the final episode.
Might be, but I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I hope she gets something different because girl, that outfit is starting to look like her boy
Look
costume.
at this, eh?
Rolling and rolling. It's like I'm sure a little bit of Clorox can clean that right off.
For some reason I thought at one point she was blind. I thought she was blind again. I had this thing. I'm like, oh my god, is she blind again? But of course she would be able to work her way around. But I thought maybe she got so much ash in her eyes at one point. I thought she was blind. This is a pretty cool shot though of her.
Yeah.
Well, I think what will happen with this costume.
People are so pissed off because she has titanium level plot armor.
Yeah.
Because I agree with them, but I don't hate it because I actually do care about Arya.
Yeah. So then she says to that lady, you got to get out of here. You're going to die. And then she gets her out of there and then she dies, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think, well, again, when I was done watching the episode, they did a kind of behind the scenes where it was like 5 minutes long. And literally they were talking about how we could have just done it to where it was just some random villager running through, you know, bodies burning, children dying, that kind of stuff. But when you tether a scene with an actor or a character that you know and love, it becomes a lot more meaningful, or it gives you more in-depth feeling.
Sorry, is this what the directors is this what Dave and Dan said?
Yeah, and I think it's like HBO, like they show like 5-minute snippets of the behind the scenes where they try.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it.
Like why this character did this.
I didn't want to watch it because I was worried I was going to punch my TV.
Which one?
Well, the thing is,
the behind the scenes with Dave and Dan, because every time Dan opens his mouth, I just get angry.
Wow.
I'm the same way. Don't feel bad.
Because like there was that one episode where he's like, "Oh, Danny just forgot. She forgot."
Oh yeah, I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What? She forgot the fleet that decimated her allies, stranded her unsullied on the other side of the continent. What? I just,
Yeah,
I
haven't watched it either.
Idiot.
I just.
Like,
Well,
I just, it
Tatiana, I
cracked me
have
up.
to tell you, by the way, in the last episode we did, some lady told you to like calm down. Did you see that? She told
We'll get
you,
her-
Tatiana, calm down. You're so loud. And I'm like, she's not loud. She's passionate.
We'll get her
Like,
some
girl, like,
We'll get her some Kansas
once
tea.
it
She'll be
starts,
fine.
it's never gonna end.
Yeah.
We'll tranquilize her a little. She'll be fine. We'll get a little bit of Kansas tea.
Tranquilizer. Yeah.
restrained
Yeah, their
her.
expectations are ridiculous. Remember Gendry's name, but forgets that Euron had a fleet of ships hiding around the corner. Yeah. So, oh yeah, he got that was pretty funny.
Well, it
like,
cracks
people-
me up because people just keep they keep forgetting, and then Varys's death scene. It
Yeah.
made me so mad. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Varys?
okay.
Well,
I
I
didn't know it.
with Varys, I actually like because last year Dany said to him, it's like she knew. She said, "If you ever cross me, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah,
like,
and
okay.
she
I'm going
came
to
true to her
be
word, but
alive.
also you have to think about what Melisandre said, because Melisandre
Mhm.
said, we're both gonna die.
Yeah, that's true. She did.
Oh.
Yeah. She predicted his death.
They
Yeah.
both died.
She was
Yeah.
like, girl, we're both gonna die.
Pretty much
We
everyone's
out.
dead. Yes. Also forgot that the Torch brother was Sam's younger brother and not older brother.
What?
What was that
Oh, are you
about?
talking about Dickard?
Or they
Or
can't.
Rickard?
Dickon.
What's his
Oh,
name?
Dick. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah. Dickon.
Dickon?
Dick on, Dick off. Yeah, they thought it was the younger brother, not the older brother. Yeah. So they're not even like, I think there's a continuity issue going on because normally on a set, you have a continuity supervisor who looks
Yeah.
at things like to make sure there's no coffee cups, that there's, the hands, thing. Just and
Again,
just
they
the
just rushed it.
or a script supervisor as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was Samuel is the eldest, and then
Yeah.
the whole reason why he went up north is because of his little brother, because his father didn't want to leave him everything. So that's why his
That's
dad
right.
kicked
Yeah.
him out
Yeah.
and made him take the blame.
Hindsight asked, why wasn't Cersei supposed to die from her younger brother according to the prophecy from Maggie the Frog? Well, in the book, she's
Mhm.
supposed to die by the Valonqar, a little brother or the little brother. People say it's either Tyrion or Jaime or Arya, or there's a lot.
Yeah.
But
Linda.
in the show, they never mention the Valonqar prophecy. They just keep it to the kids.
So what does Maggie the Frog say? She doesn't say the Valonqar shall wrap its hand around your throat or whatever.
No, she
just
doesn't.
says,
She never says that.
she never says that in the show.
Well,
Oh,
if
no,
you
she
think
just
about
said,
it, if you think about it, the Valonqar was wrapped around her because Jaime was embracing her. But then again, they have faked Jaime's death a couple of times in the show. Him falling into that lake during the battle with Dany. For all we know, they're going to be coming out the rubble the next episode.
Yeah, Linda says there isn't a continuity supervisor. They spent the money on CGI. Wow, like the dragons. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, when that other dragon died, I was like, all right, we're speeding along. Gotcha. All right, let's do this.
Okay, now I want to talk about, this is an interesting one. What did you guys think of Cleganebowl? If that's what
I loved it.
It made me sad.
It was a little bit
that I love.
It made me sad because in the beginning he was a villain trying to be a hero, and then he decided to be a villain or whatever. But it's so sad because he almost became like a surrogate father for Arya.
You know what? His arc actually was one of the best. Like, I mean, in terms of the writing, like we've talked about, some of the arcs are really dumb, but his, I think, was a very good arc. I really loved his arc.
Oh,
yeah.
Cleganebowl was magnificent,
and it was inevitable, right? It was inevitable. We knew this.
And I did like how Dan or Dave, one of the two, they're interchangeable to me, but one of them said that it was fitting that they would fight in the Stairway to Nowhere.
Yeah, that's
because
actually
that's
interesting.
what their life has all around to.
Did
If
anybody else find it funny that he died by fire?
Yeah,
Technically,
yeah,
because
no,
that's
he
true.
that's the only way he could have died. He
well,
couldn't have died
let's think
any
about it
other
this
way.
way. He hated his brother more than his hate for his brother was
And he
greater than his
feared
fear
fire.
for
Yeah,
fire.
that's what. And also, everything started when Gregor Clegane
Over a
pushed Sandor
toy.
into the fire.
Yeah,
He
over
had
a
to end
toy.
with Sandor pushing Gregor into the fire.
Well,
It's just
Angel Oliver didn't like it. She thought it was unnecessary, bad and unnecessary. His brother would have died either way. And the Hound dying by far was supposed to be ironic. And the Night King, but the Night King was easier to kill than the Mountain. Yeah, he's undead, right? So I don't know. He's an undead creature. I mean, this is again, we don't know what the lore is like. So in The Walking Dead, we know you have to put a knife in through their ear, but here we don't really know what he's a
Yeah, we
reanimated
don't know
human. So
is he like Jason
well,
Voorhees?
I
Jason
do
Voorhees, yeah.
respectfully disagree with Angel Lover because yes, it was necessary. It was very necessary. Cleganebowl was necessary, not just for the fans, but for Sandor's story. Sandor's story
Cleganebowl.
began and ended with his brother. It had
It
to happen.
began with yeah, I'm agreeing with Tatiana. It began with him, it ends with him.
I actually don't think it was really like, I think Majora's saying the Mountain was dead anyhow. He was, but I think this was really for Sandor. This was for him, right?
No, it didn't. It did not undermine Sandor's message to Arya. She told her, "Look at me. I have been hunting this man my entire life. This what I am. What Sandor is the picture of revenge. Like, do you want to be like me? Do you want to be like this sad, pathetic man that can only think of one thing, that doesn't have love, doesn't have really a life outside of vengeance against his brother? No." And she saw that and she took it and she literally ran with it.
Mhm.
So no, it did not. At least for me, it did not undermine Sandor's Sandor's message to Arya at all.
So Asen points said something that I sort of thought the same thing, that without his helmet, he kind of looked like Darth Vader, like Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, he looked like Frankenstein. That was like pure Frankenstein. And yeah, I love when
like
he killed Qyburn. When he just
Jason
Oh my
Voorhees.
god, that was actually fairly shocking to me. I was surprised. That was one. I mean, there's a lot of surprises obviously in this episode, but that actually was one that I mean, like, Danny going full, what do you call it? Nuclear.
Is it bad? Is it bad? I was expecting the whole crazy thing. I was like, she's gonna start twitching or something. Her eyes.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I was really disappointed by it, I kind of had a feeling it was going to go that way, but him actually picking up Qyburn and throwing him and killing him like that actually kind of surprised me.
Yeah, that was classic Frankenstein.
I was kind of wondering.
It was classic Frankenstein. So someone actually had pointed out this, I thought was really funny, that he kind of looks a little bit like Varys, like
Varys is coming back. Hi, 30 days.
Hey, 30 days. How are you?
I get on and see a picture of myself. Oh, come on.
You're a handsome dude. Come on. You're a handsome dude.
You have a mustache, man.
Okay. So yeah, it was pretty grotesque. Now, what I want to know is this actually the actor who plays him normally, or is just in makeup?
It is.
Is it?
I think it is.
Because
well, they changed the amount actor like 4 times,
3 times?
18 times or something.
And then the other thing is he has red eyes, but then when they take off the helmet, he doesn't have red eyes anymore. I don't think. They look
well,
like,
you can't see his eyes.
Yeah, how come we could see his eyes with the whole armor bullshit? I think they're more bloodshot than really actually red. Yeah.
And then one of the things I liked about this though, which is like, him taking off his costume, is that you can see how the tabs are attached, like how they're, they're like these separate skirts. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yes, they shaved down.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. She's talking about something else, maybe. I think they're talking about 30 days, maybe.
Also, Majora, what do you mean by okay? Yeah, Tatiana's right. You mean what by my review of Cleganebowl? Because yes. If that is right, then yes, I am in fact right. I always am.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, the Icelandic bodybuilder. So that's what I'm wondering if it's the same. Oh, shaved down the actor. They shaved down the actor? Like
Yeah, they shaved out the actor so he could become Creepo Zombie Mountain.
No, he is still, I can't even say that name. Just shave the hair. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, got it. So they shaved him and then put prosthetics on him that look kind of veiny and disgusting, like Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. Yeah.
That was gross.
Yeah. Okay. So any thoughts on this? Did you think that that was well done or not well done or what? How they achieved his look?
Oh yeah, it was very well done. I mean, it
Yeah.
was gross. Also, like an aside, I kind of loved after the mountain kills Kyburn, and Cersei just stands there. She just like looks at Gregor, looks at Zen. It's like, well, I'm out. Have fun. Bye.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, girl.
Oh, I
know.
love so hard.
I know, because he could have easily have just like hit her or something like that.
Yeah, she's like, okay, bye.
Okay,
You. I'm fine.
All right. So we've done all the sort of the side cast. Oh, the only thing I'll actually, before we go into the main characters here, let me just.
Oh, you forgot one.
Jaime?
You forgot one that really. No.
Who?
Euron.
Oh, Euron. I don't know if I put any of the pictures of him.
Euron.
Yeah. Did anyone else care when he died? Because I didn't.
No.
At all. It was like, why are you even there?
I tossed my cane and I danced.
Well, I don't have, this is from last episode here. I don't think I put any, you know what? I didn't bother because he's wearing the same outfit. He's worn the same outfit for 2 years now. It's the same.
Basically. Like it's his only outfit. He don't have money, apparently.
Yeah.
Also, talking about Euron, I have to ask, where the hell is Yara? Why the hell didn't Yara kill Euron?
No, because that's what I was talking about earlier. That's what made me so mad about the whole what was his name? These characters just disappearing who have stories or something, and then they just coming back. Like Genja disappeared, Yara disappeared. And but they're keeping Braun around. Like that's what I don't.
Yeah, Asen says, I read on Twitter that the fight between Euron and Jaime was like a fight of dads, and I agree. I didn't care. Yeah, it was just like, Yara's is busy acting on Gentleman Jack, because she went back to the Iron Islands.
Yeah,
because they were saying that once everything gets all burned up, there, that might be the only place I think left to go. Yeah, Yara should have been the one to kill him. I totally agree.
What's funny is
Yara is busy acting on Gentleman Jack. Oh, I guess that explains it, but.
Yeah, she has one ship.
At least one fighting episode of her killing Euron, because who the hell cares about Euron versus Jaime? Like, okay, yeah, sure, they both bang the queen, but do we care? No.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of if y'all have ever seen Sex in the City, the fight between Mr. Big and Aiden.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where it's like you're over 30, you'll throw your backs out. Stop it.
Yeah, like Jamie's got one hand. It's like he's trying to fight.
Can somebody make like a compilation of him just pimp handing people with that metal arm?
Yes.
He's pimp handing different people.
That is a pimp hand for the ages.
Okay, let's talk about, actually, one of the things I was going to say, I kept going on. I think this is the same jacket that Jamie's been wearing, but I noticed, but this one it's different. It's a different hand. This is the scene where he comes back into, he's in the Red Keep here, and he meets up, he's been stabbed. But look at it. I was watching it during the show. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's a different jacket. But it's cut the exact same way. So Michelle has just made it like, now he's just completely lost all his color. All his color is gone.
Yeah, and
he's just like a shell of a man.
I think that was also to symbolize his his, him dying.
Oh, hi,
Him,
goddess! Hi,
him
goddess!
fading
Oh, hey,
away.
goddess.
Hello.
Yeah, we're
That's
kind of
how
going.
you're-
We're having a long stream today because there's lots to talk about. We haven't even gotten to the good parts. So yeah, so I think that the Michelle did do another coat for him, just because she does that. Like she likes to use color. So last, he had this sort of dark red, which in these scenes it looks really like almost like an ox blood because it's just the scenes are so dark. But then in this, you can see it's just like the color is completely removed, just sort of the natural color of the leather. Even
Well, it's also his hair
Sorry.
too, and his beard.
his hair, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I noticed he had a lot more gray in his beard and in his
Mhm.
hair in the last few episodes than he did in this season than he did in the last season, really.
Yeah, and Majora wants to know how Danny survived 2 stabs to the kidneys. Anyhow, well, the same way that Arya survived 2. Jamie.
Landing.
She asked how.
Love.
Huh?
Love made him survive 2 stabs to the kidneys.
Oh yeah,
It was
love.
love.
No, I was just saying it's the same way Arya survived her stabs to the stomach. It's show armor, right? Yeah, that's painful too. Super painful to be stabbed in the kidneys. It's mentioned that George R. R. Martin was a Dungeons and Dragons player, and when he would write stories for D&D campaigns, he often have his characters die after going to a bar rather than in a battle. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, Goddess Estrola says bleeding out from the kidneys can take up to 45 minutes depending on how heart rate and size of the wound. 8 years as an EMT.
Oh wow, we could have Goddess as our consultant.
Wasn't his answer
That's our
running
wound
around
Although
consultant.
that being said, I think his heart rate would have been quite
Yeah, he was
elevated
jogging and
considering
running and stuff to try and get to Cersei. So I think he would die like on the way to her more than.
All right. Okay, so what I thought we could do is before we get to the main players here, we can talk a little bit about the Smallfolk in King's Landing, about their costumes.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I thought they were really great.
I love their costumes. I love them.
I think Michelle does a good job on the background.
Just that picture of a father and his son just trying to escape, just heartbreaking. And it's not even the only one. It's like, I'm just trying to protect my baby. I stop.
No, I know it's awful. Yeah, so a
I
lot
was
of
not expecting all that to go down, but their costumes, even back when, I think the first view we got of it was was it season 2 when Joffrey and them when they were attacked?
Oh yeah, is that season 1?
I think.
Well, that's what they were saying. It's when they took Myrcella to send off to Dorne.
That was.
So I think that might be season 2.
But
yeah, Michelle does a really great job, I think, with the different areas. Like, she did a great job with Bravos, and she did a really great job. Like we were talking about, you weren't here, Aaron, but when when they arrive in Winterfell, and they showed all of the northern clothes. Yeah, it was really neat to see all of them. I really love that.
The thing that I was the comment was, we've seen the different parts of King's Landing. We've seen like Flea Bottom. We've seen the poor, the middle class, and it's just interesting because we've seen like the poor middle class of King's Landing, upper class, the lower class, the really lower class. Like they put more effort into the extras in the first like 4 seasons. What was it? When we were in King's Landing like the whole time?
Yeah.
So it's just like they set the bar, they kept the bar with the people of King's Landing.
Yeah, I really like.
I don't.
This is a really great picture here, by the way.
Yeah, like I don't expect the baker to be wearing like a flowing golden robe. Like I expect him to be wearing something that's a little tattered, a little worn, but not to the point to where like he'd be embarrassed to wear it. Versus like some Flea Bottom.
Yeah, they're like
work
clothes. They're sensible clothes. They might be their only, they might only have that one outfit, but it's a good outfit, and it's all the colors are very like, would be from natural dyes.
I'm quite proud of that picture.
I love this picture. And you grab that?
It reminds me of
really good.
It It reminds me of what was it? Where did Marjorie's father go? I can't remember
He
the
went
name.
to Bravos.
Bravos, like the
It
costume
reminds
in
me of
Bravos.
Bravos as well. Yeah, it reminded me
You
of that
could,
too.
you know, we only saw a snippet of that, but you could tell who was like kind
Mhm.
of royalty or nobility or middle class, lower class, whoever.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they all have these sort of neck things that they're wearing, like this little girl's wearing. Like
There's
they have
like
little
there's
cowls
like
and stuff.
Elizabethan, like the men are wearing like Elizabethan
Mhm.
ruffs and like pleated skirts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love it. This I was gonna say these aprons remind me of Viking clothing. Like Viking women would wear something like that. Like this
I
woman
just
here.
wanted to grab that little baby during that scene.
I know. She's so cute, but this woman's here, her
I
outfit
love.
here, that reminds me of Viking,
When I
Viking
saw
woman.
that, I loved her outfit. I
Mhm.
absolutely
It's really
adored it.
beautiful.
Like I would wear that, like jacket and everything.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah, I really
I've
love it
seen
too.
those sleeves before. I just can't remember what.
They're like kind of like oh yeah, they're you know what it is? She's wearing like a raglan sleeve, but she's got like or a bishop sleeve, I should say.
Yeah, but she
And
has
she's
like a
wearing a
little.
shirt over top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of here, let me do a little
Or
close.
back then it could be separate. Like
It could
separate
be
sleeves.
sleeve cover, like sleeve, yeah, like sleeve protectors.
But I just
Oh,
love
by the way,
how the pleats in her dress because of
Mhm.
the way she belted it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a little bit like the
oh, by the
prostitute.
way,
Yeah.
hindsight says I was having 9/11 flashbacks during the attack of King's Landing. Speaking as a native New Yorker here. Wow.
That's awful.
So did I
Wow.
actually. I will think, especially when Arya wakes up covered in dust and ashes. Yeah, it gave me such huge 9/11 flashbacks when I saw it on TV. It was like, yikes! This episode is gonna be triggering for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Very
for sure.
triggering. Not just on a critique level. I mean, like in a health level.
Yeah. Angel over. I'm not sure if the sleeves are detachable. I think she's wearing the tunic over top of it. Like she's wearing like she's got these bishop sleeves, but she's wearing like a little tunic over top of it. But it's beautiful though. I love it, and even her little satchel and everything. The whole thing's really well done. Well, hopefully we can when they release photos. Hopefully we can have a better look at them. So it's kind of fun. I love looking at the background characters because it always it's like a little bit of like a painting. Sort of tells the story. There's one of the men.
That is
So
kind of
that
interesting about their costumes, though. Most of their costumes are very muted earth tones, while people in Bravos are like the metal and metallics, which I think
Well, I think
reflects
it's
on the
because
Iron Bank.
yeah, I think because Bravos, when I was reading, is it's supposed to be like they do a lot of the merchants there. They do a lot of the weaving and the dyeing and all that. So it's sort of like a hub for artisans. Whereas the people in King's Landing, they wouldn't have a lot of money as much. Although some of these people are fairly well dressed. They're not that badly dressed. So
yeah, but that's what I was saying earlier. Like you can tell like who's got a little bit more money or who may have more silver in their pocket.
Absolutely. And then you do see some a little bit of red, like some, like and mustard color, but those could be from like natural dyes as well. So like woad and
I
madder.
want to see that costume that behind that man. If you go back to the left, there's like a hint of green behind that fella.
Oh,
not her,
that's
not
from
her.
the
The one with
window?
not her. A little bit to the right. Look in between the man carrying the basket.
Yeah,
You can see
it's
like
like
a
a
yellow.
chartreuse almost. Oops. It's like a chartreuse. I can't get it. That little girl? Yeah.
Beside the little girl.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. That's really nice. It's like a mustardy green.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Here's another one. Here's another. That one's green too. Is there?
Yeah, that's more like an emerald.
Yeah, like an emerald.
Like
yeah. But there's that color there.
Yeah, that's like that random little pop of color.
Yeah, it's really nice. So she just has some color in there, but it's very like more earthy,
Are you noticing that most of the older women have like shawls and
yes,
kind of like that little nun?
Oops. Oh, sorry.
Little nun coverings.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be kind of modest. Like it's supposed to be modest. Well, it could be like in Greek times they would have worn or even in Scotland, they would have worn like one long piece of fabric, and then that would be used as like a dress, or it'd be used as a shawl, or it'd be used as a head covering, kind of
Or
like
like girls were allowed to wear their hair down before they married, but then they would have to hide it
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they'd have
as
their
soon
hair
as they were
covered.
married because technically I think their hair was a part of their nakedness or something.
Yeah. Well, I know the Urisade, like, which is the Scottish shawl, was either tartan or not tartan. It would be worn by a married woman, not by a child. So that kind of makes sense. So there's a few more guys, and thank you to Tatiana for all these lovely pictures. Okay, so those are blank. So that's what we have of the background. So next, okay, so should we do Dany? We'll do Dany last. We could do
Well,
Cersei.
hey, question. Did we talk about how Jaime's story ended? Because that is controversial at best.
Who?
Okay, well, we can talk about that if you want.
Sure.
Who we're talking about?
So I'm conflicted.
Jaime.
I'm conflicted with how Jaime ended because, as I said, I wanted him to go to King's Landing and just kill Cersei, and they didn't do that. He generally went to be with her in her last moments.
Well,
and
yeah,
try to
but
save her.
when he has a scene with Bronn where they're talking about women and that kind of stuff, Jaime said the way how he wanted to die was to die in arms of the woman that he loved.
I know. That's why I am not mad at the scene. Like, I understand it because, like, people are saying, oh, they have crapped all over Jaime's arc. Jaime's arc was for nothing. He didn't learn anything. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I can understand where they're coming from, and I can almost agree with them. But he did realize we saw his journey, but what he saw in himself was that he was not a man worthy of forgiveness. He was not a man who deserved a happy life, who deserved peace, because of his obsessive love for his sister, because of all the terrible things that he did in the name of his love for his sister. And basically, when Brienne was the life that he could have had, but that he did not feel worthy of having. And like the only thing left for him was the woman that was always there, Cersei, for better or worse. And honestly, I was disappointed but not mad at it. So really the only thing he could have done was to be with Cersei. And also what Jaime's last decision reminded me of very, very strongly was Frodo from Lord of the Rings, when he was in the last lap of the journey. All he had to do was throw the ring in the fire after this entire epic journey that he has gone with his faithful sidekick, and he fails. And considering that Lord of the Rings is the main inspiration for Game of Thrones, that is such a J.R.R. Martin thing to do that I cannot be mad at it. I can't. Like, I'm disappointed because, well, I am a diehard Bravey fan.
Yeah, I was too. And when they finally hooked up, I was like, yes.
Me too. But like, I understand the story, and also Cersei's end. Because again, I wanted her die, I wanted her captured, I wanted her executed, I wanted someone to kill her. But they somehow made the third option of nobody killing her directly, they made it work. Because how did she die? She became like what she is in the most basic, instinctive human aspect of life. She died what she has always been from the beginning, a mother. She died as a mother afraid for her child. And that is like the most human thing they could have created for her, and
Yeah.
I loved it.
But that's also, that also feeds into you not wanting to die. You know what I mean? Because I've, with my journey,
mhm.
I've met people who are gonna die. I've met people who are trying not to die. I've met people who refuse to die. It just keeps going and going and going.
Also, Herman Baum says, Tat, it was just crummy and lazy writing. The old Jaime died in a bathtub with Brienne. Cersei put a contract on Jaime just last episode. Well, it was actually the beginning of the episode, but now she's in love with him again. See, that's the thing. Why did she put a hit on him? Like Tyrion, I get it. She hates Tyrion, but why Jaime? Because he left her and she's hurt. And what does Cersei do when she's hurt? She lashes out, and she lashes out violently. Doesn't mean she doesn't still love him. When after she has sex with Euron, and he says, "I'll put a prince in you," and she's just like her eyes tear up, and she starts chugging down wine. That's not because, oh, I'm not really pregnant, or no, I'm not really this, or no, I'm lying to you. It's like, you're not the man that I want here with me right now. At least that's how I interpret it. It's like, Euron Greyjoy, a-hole extraordinaire, are not the man that I need right now. You're just a placemat. So,
You're a boyfriend.
Yeah, she put a hit out on him because he betrayed her, and she was hurt, and she was in pain. And when a woman like Cersei is hurt and in pain, she is going to lash out. And also, she is of the mentality, because since her love is obviously dysfunctional, if she can't have Jaime, nobody can.
Yeah. Well, it might have also just been a message to him too, right? Like she sent a sellsword to kill him.
Yeah, like, get your ass back here.
It might have been like letting him know, because really it was after that happened that he decided to leave, right?
What?
More or less.
I was saying by her and also some people had said it wasn't actually Cersei who did it, it was Qyburn, because Cersei didn't actually do it. But you assume that Qyburn is acting on behalf of Cersei. But after he, like, I had a situation like this years ago. This is going to sound really bad. So I had a thing for this guy. We had an on again, off again thing. And anyways, I was just like, oh, I'm just trying to get him out of my mind. So I go on a date with this other guy. So I'm out on the date with the other guy. And then we go out and we had a really nice time and everything. And then I get a phone call from the other guy. I dropped second guy like a hot potato for the first guy. Was it a nice thing to do? It was an awful thing to do. But I just was following my heart. I was just like, I'm sorry, I gotta be with this other guy. I have to. It's just it's compulsive or something, right? This is before I met my husband. Well, it was only one date, whatever. But anyway, I think for me, my biggest disappointment with this scene is that she got killed by a pile of rocks. I would have liked it have been something more, active. I would have liked it, even if they died together, I would have liked it had been something else. Yes.
I was half expecting like the roof to kind of cave in and for like the Drogon to like incinerate them together.
Yeah, Danny found them. Yeah. Like Danny found, like, instead of just caving around them, like it caves around them, but there's like this little pocket like right around the middle, and just when he's like, oh, they made it out. Danny swoops in with Drogon and finds them like Dracarys.
Yeah, it just sort of feels a bit like a letdown. I mean, because in any type of story, like video game, what have you, when it comes time to, she was supposed to be the big bad, but then they've done this twist that no, she's not the big bad, that Danny's not the big bad. So you know, what you need to have that payoff. You need to have these setups need to be paid off in a satisfying way. And I just, for me, didn't find it that satisfying. I don't know what you guys think, but Brienne was at the zombie meetup. So Cersei must have known Brienne was up north and she and Jaime would have met up. Oh, perhaps.
Probably.
But yeah, no, I was saying that, by Cersei sending this message, like sending Bronn up north to kill Jaime, maybe she knew instinctively that he wouldn't actually kill him. So she sent him, and then with that, Jaime was like, "Oh, Cersei's thinking about me. She sent an assassin after me. That's a sign of love from her." Like maybe he knew that it was a sign of love. And then because it was after that happened, like he's lying in bed with Brienne, he's like, I don't even think he lay in bed with her. I think he was sitting there thinking about it, and then he got up to leave. So obviously that's what triggered him, I think.
Yeah, basically, no.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna head off and get something to eat.
Oh, okay. Aaron's leaving us. Bye, Aaron. Bye, Aaron. We're so glad you were able to come.
Bye, Aaron.
We'll do it again if everything's not going crazy. We'll do the next episode too.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, we'll talk to you soon. Okay, love?
All right. Well, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all later.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, for Dany to be the true big bad, Cersei has to be reduced to victim. Yeah, I think that's exactly. Yeah. Cersei got curb stomp rather than face justice because that would get the crowd on board with Dany again. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so let's go back. Where are we here? Do you want to go back to her? We're gonna go back to. Let's look at some of. We'll look at Cersei and then we'll look at Dany. Okay, we'll do her last.
Yeah. Okay.
I just have to figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, here we go. All right, so hold on. Where are you here? Oh, there you are. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Okay, can everyone see that now?
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at myself doing tech.
Asun said, yes, Heidi. That is also the thought process of a victim of an abusive relationship. All that BS the abuser is putting him through.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. It's sort of like codependence, right? Like a codependent relationship.
Oh, completely.
Well, this is what was going on with me and this guy. Like, I was just like, it was like, I told him, I said, you don't want me, but you don't want anybody else to have me. It was kind of that type of thing. That's what was going on with us. So I would try and move on. And then as soon as I tried to move on, that's when he would call me, or send me a message or something. And so anyways, luckily I'm away from that and I'm with my lovely, sweet husband.
Aw, yay. But I can also attest to that. It's like not from personal experience, but from like adjacent personal experience. Like a loved one. They were in this relationship for many years with their partner, and they were clearly toxic for each other.
Oh
like, yeah. They could not go 5 minutes without fighting. And not just like arguing, like full on fighting and screaming at each other, just calling each other names. But and everybody just said like, just leave them, leave the person. Just why are you still together? It's like, oh yeah, I love him, I love her, I this and that, and I'm like, and it's like honestly it ended. You know how it ended? Because their partner, in one of their fights, broke their big screen TV with a hammer.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Just thank God that the hammer was directed at the TV and not their head.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's crazy. Okay, guys. So we're gonna talk. So we've lost Aaron. If anybody's just joining us, it's Heidi and Tatiana talking about Game of Thrones season 4 and 5, and we're just moving on to Cersei now. Here's a sort of that crowd shot of her. Tatiana, can you see this?
Yes,
you could see it. Okay. So. Let me see if I can get. So
also,
there she is. Oh, we didn't talk about Melisandre as well. Maybe we can talk about her as well.
Oh yeah, people were up in arms.
Yeah.
So hard for Melisandre.
Well, the thing
Like,
that I,
well,
yeah,
they were split. They either didn't care or they were very angry.
yeah. The thing that upset me the most was that she had to be executed in those pants. You know how much I love those pants. I mean, I just
Oh,
hate that. I mean, I hate the whole costume. It's and she, she got one new coat this season, and then like that cross harness, but she didn't even get a whole costume. She got a partial. I was like, why didn't this poor girl get a new costume?
yeah. I mean, she didn't get like a new coat in the north where like the pants were covered.
I guess so.
I
Yeah,
miss that
yeah.
coat. I
But
miss it very
anyway,
much.
she has to be executed in this terrible outfit. It's just awful. Like at least in I don't know if anybody watches Peaky Blinders, at least not Peaky Blinders, sorry. What's it called? Penny Dreadful. At least big spoiler for this if you haven't seen it. At least she wore this amazing gown at the very end, like her finale gown. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So, I was like, couldn't they have put her in like some type of like, Cersei could have dressed her up or something for her execution? I think that would have been awesome.
Honestly, I would have been okay if they put her in a simple shift.
Yeah, a shift would have been good. Yeah.
A simple white shift. That would have looked amazing.
It would have been really dramatic. It would have been really dramatic.
Really dramatic, and especially with the blood like pulling around her body.
Yeah.
Just staining the dress would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know why they decided this. So, okay. So so she had the black gown, but now she's back in red. So what are your thoughts about this whole outfit? I know we've talked a bit about it before, but
I have grown to like it.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't crazy about it at first, but it grew on me. And like people like were always saying like, oh, how is Cersei even pregnant? She's not pregnant. She's not pregnant because she's not showing. I want to argue that point, and I will argue it with Outlander.
Okay.
Outlander season 1, Gallus's trial. When she opens up her black and white dress and reveals her pregnant belly, nobody before that realized that she was pregnant because the dress hid it so well. That's the same thing that's happening with Cersei's dress.
Yeah. Actually, if you look at this one scene here, she does look pregnant here.
She does look like she's a bit of a belly, but the dress is loose enough that it hides it.
Yeah, it's designed in such a way that it's sort of slightly like, let's see if I can find another picture here where it sort of slightly spreads open. I think I think what happens is if you've had multiple children, you tend to show earlier. So, usually it's after 3 months. That's why they usually tell you there's reasons why you don't tell people that you're not pregnant until after 3 months, but normally most people don't show until like 3 to 4 months. But like on my second one, I did show earlier because I'd already, everything was kind of loose down there, I guess. I don't know. Did Clapton have a velvet allergy? I never heard that.
Oh, has you worked with velvet before now?
I've never heard of her having a velvet allergy. So, but yeah, no, it's a really interesting thing. There's a lot of things going on. And obviously Michelle she has talked about this costume. I mentioned this before. We've all talked about this, about how it has that sort of, X-ray kind of look, because you're looking into her soul. And Michelle has sort of talked about that. And then of course the Reds come back. I had said this before. I said, if she's going to woo somebody, if she's going to have a suitor like Euron, then she wouldn't be able to be wearing black anymore, because that black is the color of perpetual mourning. So I was really happy to see her return to red, because that to me made more sense.
Yeah.
Captain's costumes just really involve velvet. No, it's true. They do actually. It's true. Actually, Tatiana, can you think of any velvet costumes in the show? Yeah, I think Renly did have velvet. No, I think you're right. I think Renly's brigandine was velvet, but no, I don't think there's been a lot of velvet. There's definitely no lace, and there's no knitting.
She uses a lot of satin but
she uses lots of brocades and chenilles and wools and.
Yes, Sansa's Battle of the Bastards dress.
Which one?
Sansa's Battle of the Bastards dress, the two
Yes.
one, the really
Yeah.
beautiful.
But that wasn't Michelle. That was April Fairy.
Oh, it was April Fairy.
Yeah.
Really? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was not. That was okay. Sure.
Yeah.
This is the first time she's used velvet.
Yeah, someone was saying Angel Ever said Renly, which I think it was. I think Renly's Brigandine was velvet. There's probably been velvet. There's probably been some. Yeah, but no, it's true. And then her black one looked like it was velvet as well. So one of the things that we had talked about is that this talisman that she wore here, like this Lannister pendant, I was referring to it as a talisman, sort of as a protector of her unborn child kind of thing. Because, you know, she used to wear it sort of shorter. And then Aesun and Romy and everybody was mentioning about the studs that she has that are all sort of around her torso, like to sort of protect the baby. It did feel weird. Like, how do you feel about the baby, though? That felt like a bit of a dead end to me as well. Unless, I mean, I guess what you were saying about it bringing her back to being a mother, though. So is that what you think the purpose of that story arc was?
Probably it served to one last attempt to humanize her, and I think it worked. I felt sorry for her for a hot minute, but yeah, basically.
Well, okay, so Aesun said, and I totally agree with this. Aesun and I are kind of in agreement on a lot of this. She says, I found it disappointing that there are so many outfits that are repeating itself, like Cersei's 2 dresses in the season and Dany's outfits this and last season. Yeah, so they all have the same silhouette.
Everything.
And Tyrion's. It's again, it's a little bit boring, right? It's, you know, I mean, Aaron's not here, but I think, you know, we want to be sort of delighted and wowed, and it would be kind of like going to see a fashion designer. And I mean, they do sometimes do this. They'll have the entire collection be the same silhouette, which I guess would be fine. But then to go back the following season, like say you watch the spring, summer, and then you go to see the fall, winter, and then the fall, winter would then also have the same silhouette. You would be like, well, that's kind of boring. Like, I'm not really interested in that. And so you could argue, well, it's telling the story as opposed to being a fashion collection. So I guess you could argue that. But I mean, most people in our lives don't wear the same clothes every day. Like, we tend to be like, oh, today I feel like wearing this, or today I feel like wearing that. And it seems strange to me, like someone like Dany, who always seemed to have a variety of dresses, you know, that at her disposal, would now suddenly just only wear one particular silhouette.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, at least Dany's has had a bit more variety than the rest of the women of Westeros all put together.
Yeah, like Dany's got the most variety. I mean, but she sort of riffed, you know, it's funny because I always laugh. She sort of copies herself. So her first outfit, Dany, we'll talk about it when we get to it, but her first outfit is like her, you know, season finale outfit from last season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things, yeah. So, anyway, so yeah, I would have liked if they were going to do 2 complete outfits, I would have personally have liked to see them done differently. I mean, obviously she's used different fabrics and so on, but it's a bit boring for me. Maybe her Dany costumes became a sort of uniform for her. I think that's what she was sort of going for. Yeah. For me, it's just a bit boring. So basically. Yeah, so there's her sort of now. If anybody hasn't seen this is really great. They put these pictures up on the Making Game of Thrones. Tatiana, you've seen this, I think. Yeah. The Making Game of Thrones website, which is a really great place to go. That a lot of times they'll post original, like they'll do studio shots and put them on there, and they show a lot of behind the scenes stuff. But it's the Making Game of Thrones is the official blog of Game of Thrones. So I often go there. I think Aesun goes there. A lot of us do. So this is nice because it's got a full head to toe, and it looks to me like it's sort of ombre a bit, like the bottom is darker. It could be the lighting. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's the lighting. There's shadows.
Yeah.
Also, I can see the other window. By the way, there's another window open. That I can see.
There's another window.
There we go.
Where?
Now it's gone.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, I think you moved it.
Oh, there. I was just doing some close-ups like that, you mean?
Yeah, there. Now we go. Now I can see better.
Okay. So there's the pendant there.
Yeah.
Something we had talked about also at the beginning of the season is that, so the Lannister colors are crimson and gold. And last season she had kind of, she went completely black and silver. And then now it kind of, I think Asun or a few of you guys have sort of pointed out, maybe it was Sarah, that it's not completely gold, but it's kind of like a bit like a nickel, with a patina to it. So like in the studs. Yeah, it's kind of got an interesting patina to it. So I think it's a solid design. I'm not
crazy about the X's, but overall it's a good design. I like it.
We all wear the same clothes over and over, but different outfits. Yeah, that's true. But what we're saying 30 days is that this season she's only got 2 outfits. So she started wearing one outfit only. I mean, I don't know what the timeline is, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure. It's hard in this Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
Yeah. Times of winter, war, and austerity. I guess it shows in their clothes. This is a thing like Queen Elizabeth, who was, had lived through several wars. She had like 1,000 gowns, like seriously. And so, and she was like, so even during times of war, she would still be, incredibly dressed and made up and with the wigs and the powder and the accessories and that kind of thing. So I always sort of say when it comes to talking about austerity, Cersei would rather probably starve her people than have austerity measures for herself. You know what I mean? She's gonna spend the money on herself and her King's Guard or Queen's Guard, I should say, and to hell with everybody else. They could starve, which is sort of she's sort of a bit of a dictator type dictator. What is it? She's what's the term, Tatiana?
Dictator.
She's but a territorial monarch is what I'm trying to come up with, but I can't think of the word. What it's called. I like throw it all on the base dress and look what sticks. Majora says, I forgot who pointed this out, but the old line pennant is worn over her pregger's belly at a point of pride in her unborn Lannister child. Yes, we just talked about that.
That's it. I also thought it was like in some way like a bit of protection, like protected behind the Lannister seal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's worn it since she was a little girl, right? There's a picture of her when we first saw her in a flashback scene with Maggie the Frog where she's wearing it. So we know that she's worn it for a long time. And they've just sort of made it because it's called a can't remember the name of it, but this sort of cross chain, the chain of order type thing is sort of like a bit like a military thing or a regent type thing, but she's just, wearing it quite a bit longer now. It's not really feminine. I mean, the dress has some elements of being feminine, but I think the dress is still fairly masculine looking, like something her father would wear, maybe. What's that?
Especially with the shoulder pads.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, a livery. That's what I was trying to figure out what the name of it is. A livery. She was wearing this the silver one in last season as well. Yeah, and then of course, and it's supposed to sort of look like a brigandine with the armor. Like normally, I was saying she probably doesn't have the armor pieces behind it, but normally there would be plate metal behind this, almost like jeweler's brass. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move into Dany. So I had made this, but obviously she has a 5th look. So Dany's got 5 looks that I could tell in total so far. Is that sort of what you had counted? Like these 4 plus the most recent?
Yes. Although I think she's wearing something different when Tyrion finds her depressed.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't figure out what that was. Maybe you guys know. I couldn't figure out maybe a dressing gown.
I thought it could be a dressing gown. I thought it could be like a dress, one of her outfits that she just let unbutton and just careless because she didn't care enough because depression.
Oh, Asen, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. She says she really loved the black silver outfits last season, not so much the 2 dresses she got in season 8. Yeah. I think
I like
that,
them. I mean, I did like some of them, but I
yeah.
like most of them.
Well, my favorite one last season, as Asen probably knows, is the one with the
Yeah,
spikes on the shoulder. I love that one. That was my absolute favorite. The one she wore.
yeah.
She wore a new one on. Yes, on Drogo. Have a picture of that. Okay. So let's start with this one. So this is the one when she arrives in Winterfell. So this is the one I was saying is like last season. And it's pretty much the same silhouette. The only difference is that the one from last year had zigzags on the sleeves. This one doesn't. And this one
Red.
and it's got the red, yeah. And then it's got these little shingles, these little silver sort of scales that Asun really loves.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I do love
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So this was from a photo shoot. So this is really nice. So this one I was saying is my understanding is that it is faux fur, but there's a little bit of rabbit. I think the stole might be real. It doesn't look fake to me, but it could be fake. I'm not 100%.
Maybe.
It's got the red cape. And then, so this is the one she's wearing this. I think, I think that Romy was calling this like her library coat because she wore it in the library, but she's also wearing it for the funeral. And so obviously she's got the white here because it's winter and she's in the north, and the red because she's a Targaryen. But some people were saying that maybe the gray here might be like just to show her allegiance to Jon, her love for Jon. What do you think of that idea?
I can see it. It's like she's trying to like, at least subconsciously to like try to appeal to him. Like I know we have this, familial bond thing, but I'm still sexy. I still have your color. See how nice the gray and the red look together. Come on. Come on.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's kind of like it's the Stark color, right? So it's just showing maybe she's trying to,
to the Starks, really, to just say like,
yeah,
I think more than Jon, I think it's the Starks.
the Starks, yeah, even like Sansa, Arya, yeah. How many of these fabrics were actually possible in medieval times? Well, probably none of them. Well, they're supposed to be, again, it's supposed to be like a leather, but it's probably faux. I'm not sure. I don't have the information on that. So this is supposed to be, there's a silhouette there of it in the outdoor scene. There's a closer one. I don't have another picture of it. Yeah. So it's supposed to be like fur, like little sort of layers of fur, lines of fur, like burgundy or I think we were calling it color. What were we calling that? Sort of like a dark red with the gray.
Yeah, like a blood red.
Yeah.
Like a blood or a wine red.
Yeah, she's trying to sweet talk him through fashion, but doesn't realize that Jon knows nothing. That's true. I also love the new one in this episode. So, yeah. But I like the cut in the front, though. It's kind of nice the way it cascades. Like, so it's shorter in the front, and then it has that cascading thing. And then there's a split, like a vent at the back with the chevrons going down, which I don't have a picture of it here, though. Sorry, guys. But this whole scene was like devastating. This scene here. God. Yeah, Jorah's buried in his armor.
Yeah.
The one thing I was realizing that was kind of horrifying is that they would have all been raised, right? They would have all been raised as whites. So that I noticed a lot of, by the Night King.
Some of them did, like Jorah and Theon did not because they died after he raised them.
Oh, they did die after. Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. Thank you. All right, so let's go on here. So that's that one. Okay, so then her red outfit.
It's simple. And again, contrasted with like the rest of the party, she stands out. She stands out as this foreigner, and that's really the idea, that she's not one of them, and she never will be. Like all this all this gigantic epic journey that she has gone through and suffered through and just fought through, it was all in the hopes of returning home.
Yeah.
But she never really had one.
I don't know if Jason's asking if is it normal to get burned in metal armor. To be honest with you, I have no idea. It does seem like an unlikely thing to do. But I mean, to strip down all the bodies would probably have been a huge endeavor, I guess they thought. I thought the waistline was a bit too high. Yeah, I thought it was a bit too high as well. I think that the peak does go above the natural waistline. So I think the outer edges are sort of where. So here I've got a picture of it here. So it looks like, the natural waistline is actually on the right side, and then that peak goes up quite a bit above the natural waistline. It is sort of odd. Mm. Yeah. I would assume since metal armor is very expensive now and during medieval times. Yeah.
Basically.
So here she is with Jon. Her hair looks really beautiful here. This is one of those scenes where her hair is just amazing.
I know, and I just love the crisscross on the sleeves. It's like, I know it's a normal at this point for hers, but it's still lovely.
It's a really it's a really nice detail.
She has like a different fabric underneath from the rest of the costume.
Mm-hmm.
To for added texture.
Yeah, actually this is I think the same one. I'm not sure if it's different. Maybe when we go back.
Or maybe it's cut differently. It's like instead of
on the bias.
The bias is like against the bias or something. Like something about it is different.
Goddess says the lineup of Tormund, Jon, and Daenerys looks like the bars on a cell phone. Sorry, long day. I'm in a weird mood.
Wow.
That's hilarious. I love it.
That is so random.
I love this picture. And there's no coffee cup. Because that's the scene, right? Where there's a coffee cup.
Yeah, for now.
Are their dishes really weird? The dishes that they eat out of? Is that what those are? Their dishes?
Yeah. Yeah, they're metal.
Yeah. But it looks like it's a plate that goes inside of a plate.
Yeah. It's odd.
Okay.
30 Days says, I would think that armor would not do much to protect against heat and may even act as an oven depending on the piece. Radiating heat will still burn, and with how close armor is, there isn't insulation. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Thoughts?
You want dishes like those 30 days? Okay, so here's a close-up of the costume. So you can see, I told Asen that I thought that it looked like they had done some stitching. So what's sort of different here is they did a bit of the scale stitching, like this little bit of, which we think Michelle did, or Michelle Carragher, because she told Asen, was it you that you went and asked her? Someone went and asked her, Michelle, if she'd done embroidery on the show. And she said she did. Asen did. So I'm assuming, but they didn't do anything else. It looks like there's something up here, but normally they would have added some little scales or added some beading, or it's very, very simple. It's very simple, like this dress. So very little additional. It looks like there's a little bit of done on the front here, but very little additional embroidery. You want to feel it? Oh, the dishes. You want to feel the dishes? And then, they just did the same pleated skirt. So what Asen was saying is, so here's the picture of this season's costume and then last season's costume. They're basically the same thing. In fact, the fabrics are pretty much identical too. So I don't know if I've been trying to source them.
It's like the same fabric, but in a different color, basically.
Just in a different color.
Even the shoulders look the same.
They are, yeah. So that's why I was joking to Asen that, Michelle called and said, I've got that pattern, just make that. And then she's got the, and then she's done it in reverse, right? So she's got, instead of doing she did the red embroidery on this one here, I know this is embroidery because I've seen a close up of it. And then on here, she's done the silver gray embroidery. So it's just sort of like reverse, right? She's not wearing the cape though.
Basically,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a solid look. I have no problem with it. It's just like I would have liked to have seen something a little bit more exciting, something they would I've just been waiting.
At least I put something on the chest. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? The chest thing.
The postron?
No, the yeah, the pebble.
Oh, the chain. You mean her chain of intent? So you mean this thing?
Yeah, too. But I mean, like a decoration on the chest. Is the chest plate? Was the chest part? Like okay, like where it goes from the shoulders towards the waist, the middle.
Yes.
That.
Yeah.
I forgot the middle. I forgot the name.
Center front. The center front.
Yeah, the center front.
Yeah.
Like put something put something else. Like I think like the most they did is that they they cut the center part differently from the rest of the costume, because if you see there's like something different about the center from the rest of the dress.
Yeah.
There's like something like subtly different.
It looks like there might be some embroidery on there, but we can't see it because it's not of a high enough resolution picture. Like here, we don't, unfortunately, I can't. Like so you can sort of see something, but I don't know what it is. But it must be the embroidery. Yeah. It just is not enough.
I think it's just like more of that silver thread. Or that gold thread, like just running through it and then going up towards the neck.
I don't think it's just not enough. Like, because we've become so used to seeing like all of these wonderful textures that they've done with the dragon scale and had all these like building up of these textures. And then this is just so stripped down. I mean, maybe this is a metaphor. I don't know. Yeah, that's why the center front looks different. Anyway, yeah. So, all right. So, nothing. Yeah. So Jason said he's nothing spectacular. Let me just put it this way. Last year, when I saw Dany's white coat, I'm like, you know what? I bet you they're going to submit this episode and Michelle will win an Emmy for it. And she did. This year, there's nothing really that I can say, oh my God, this is going to win Michelle an Emmy. I don't really see anything here like that.
No, I mean maybe the white and red coat, which is awesome.
Yeah, but I mean,
the new outfit, which is also cool. But
yeah, yeah. And then so then this one is some of the people had commented on this that this one didn't have the shoulders. This is like the only costume she wears. It doesn't have those. Yes, I think it is. Let me see. Does anything else have that? I think everything else has those shoulders, isn't it? Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
So it's the only one that doesn't. Because I mean the shoulders are supposed to be kind of like her armor, I think. With Daenerys' costumes, it seems to be all about subtle details, where with Cersei it was all about being very bold. Yeah, that's a very good point. But we've seen that already. Yeah. I do like that coat. And yes, I am glad the shoulders are normal. Well, someone was said, okay, now regarding the fabric, it's not quite gray. Some people were saying it was gray. I was saying, I think it's more like kind of a beigey tone, because if you look here,
white.
It's lighter. It's definitely lighter. And I think this could be showing that she's moving away from Jon. But also someone said that it's kind of, faded looking, kind of like how, because she's gone through a lot, like she's just been dragged through the mud and she's had all these terrible things happen to her, so it could be maybe like her spirit fading, but she does still have the red.
I see this outfit and it seems like suede, like a suede texture. It's not leather, yet, but it's like suede-esque.
Yes,
kinda.
I agree, because here's a picture of her from the photo shoot. Here, let me show you. There, that's the photo shoot there. I know Linnea, who made her other coat, also made this. So there it is there. But it does look like a bit like a suede. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or yeah, it does look like some type of hide.
basically. It's
Yeah.
like some maybe cowhide, I don't know. But it doesn't
Yeah.
look like leather. Like you say.
You can see the beige best when she stands at King's Landing for the talk at the end of the 4th episode. So, a little bit of that fur color there, maroon or red or whatever you want to call it, dark red.
The chevron pattern in the back.
Yeah. Well, they do. Yeah, there's the chevron there, which is really cool. I love that. And then here, the back is really neat. Hey, the way that's cut, that is really beautifully done with all those seams. She always looks worried. Yeah. This is this is what the Dragon Demands calls emoting. This is her emoting. Wait till you see the other pictures. This is what I was saying. Poor Emilia Clarke, like years from now, like 20 years from now, when she's, got a different career and everything, there'll be all these memes going around of her making these faces.
Oh my God. Yeah.
The color reminds me of ash. It's not really gray and not quite white. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I agree.
Super. Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Yeah. And her hair here though, oh, so beautiful. This is probably for Dani, this is one of my favorite seasons for her for hair.
Yes, definitely. Like, yes, queen, come through with that. But did you see, like in the new episode, like did you see her hair? That was braids on 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 braids.
Yeah.
On braids.
Angel over saying she's wearing a Jorah ascot, which I wasn't really super crazy about the ascot, to be honest with you. Like the men in King's Landing wear them, although not quite like that. But I think what was going on is she was going north and they needed something to kind of fill in the neckline. And then actually they did it with Sansa as well. Sansa's wearing them. So I'm not super crazy about it. TBH.
Sure. I actually like the little seams of like teeth, the little rows of tiny teeth are along the seam lines of that coat.
Oh yeah, they've pinked it, right? Like they've pinked it with let me see if we can look here. Little zigzags. Yeah, they've pinked that.
Little like teeth.
Like little teeth. Yeah. Yeah.
That again. Foreshadowing.
Why does everyone hate the cravat? I don't know. I just don't like it. It reminds me of Austin Powers. I don't know.
That's a weird reach. You could have said anything else. You could have said anything, but it had to be Austin Powers.
Oh, Austin Powers. Oh, it's on Netflix now. Actually, Jack and I were like, we should rewatch it.
Lol.
I'm eating, by the way.
That would be a really great classic. If you're going for like classic movies or Austin Powers would be really good, especially if you want to go for 60s.
Totally. Well, years ago, like when I was working in this costume company, it was really big, and we went to a premiere. Me and my friend, we dressed up. It was so fun. We wore wigs and like go-go boots and stuff. It was awesome. I loved it. Okay, so this is the outfit that we're not really sure what it is she's wearing. It's sort of softer in the shoulders, though, so I don't think it's anything we've seen.
Yeah. So maybe it's a dressing gown.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's like a little bit of a lift in the shoulders, like it has like like a little bit, like if like after the shoulders, like you go to the shoulders and a little bit below, it like rises up a little bit, like a teeny tiny little bit.
Yeah, it looks to me like it's a gown of some kind. Like so over here, for instance. On the right, you can see sort of where the shoulder seams are, and then there's a bit of a collar. So it looks like, and then of course, everyone was talking about her hair in this scene, right?
I see hair because Melisandre was the one who did her hair.
Yeah, and she wasn't there to do it. Although someone obviously came in and helped out because by the end of this episode, she had her hair all done.
Maybe it was Martha from the kitchens.
It could have been Martha. She says what did she call her? My queen isn't eating. I hope they release these pictures. Yes. Dani looks musty. Well, she's not wearing any makeup.
I saw a video and it was really interesting because they said when in this picture in particular, when she's like looking out all depressed,
Mhm.
that she looks a lot, but like a deserving amount of lot like the series
Oh,
when he was losing his
interesting.
mind.
Hmm.
Like, like,
Yeah.
and I do not disagree.
Yeah. So we
Like,
don't. So anyway, I don't know if we'll ever know what she's wearing here. Like, can you see anything there? I like. You know what? If they
I
put some high res pictures on it, we might be able to lighten them up and like zoom in a bit. I
yeah,
went to this. If anybody doesn't know it, there's this channel or this like website called Section of Randomness. That's where I oftentimes go and get pictures. And I went there today, and for some reason, now they might have just been so overwhelmed, but when I went to open up the pictures, the whole thing crashed. So I don't know if they were just overwhelmed with visitors.
wow.
Yeah, I kind of like her looking like this, to be honest with you. It's kind of a nice.
Daenerys in that picture is exactly like I'm looking right now. Ha! Mood.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's me in the mornings.
Okay. So, and this brings us to this look.
Oh,
Here's one of the faces here. She's got all this soot on her face and everything.
oh, mean. Super mean. All the
This
mean.
looks definitely like her brother. Like this is definitely Viserys.
Yeah. I love the pattern.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
that they
interesting.
managed to find a fabric that has like a leather with a dragon-esque scale on it, and
Yeah.
I love it. She became one with her dragon.
Yeah, it's really
Or
beautiful.
worse, or worse, or worse.
Yeah. Yeah, Easton loves it. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
And it looks
Um
two-toned too. It looks
it,
like
wa-
this.
it, it looks
It,
two-tone. Yeah, I think so too. I think that it's probably black on the top and then red on the bottom. Like
yeah,
they have this stuff called like they laminate sometimes these leathers or these this is what I think it is. I think it's one of these. I don't know if she had it made or if she found it, but one of the nerdy cosplayers will probably figure it out. But yeah, it looks kind of like it's cracked, and then in the cracks maybe there's the red. So hopefully again we'll see that in a photo shoot. Hey
it's
Sarah.
cracking. She's becoming a
Sarah's
dragon.
here. Sarah, have you been here all this time or you just coming in? Here's the back of it. Again, look at her hair here. Oh my God, this hair.
Look
is
at that.
so-
Braids on 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 braids
Who
on braids
did
on
that?
braids.
That's like a frigging, I don't know, macrame.
Where
That's like,
does she find the hair? I mean, what does her hair like just grow like instead of growing long, it just grows thick? It's like if does new hair like sprout out of her scalp like every day?
oh yeah, 30 days. It's definitely a wig. Emilia Clarke, she's actually a brunette. She's actually, I mean, her wig has been on point this season, I think. I think this is something that they've done. Like I kind of always get up on Kevin Alexander. He's the hair person on the show because there's been some like really bad moments for the wigs, like Cersei's lopsided thing. There's been a couple of bad points for the wigs, but this is pretty solid.
Yeah. Majora says that hair is just distracting. I didn't like it.
Oh,
I can
really?
understand it. I
Oh
can
no, it's
understand.
not. It's not a weave. It's an actual wig.
Yeah.
They
But I love it. It's like because again, she is the conqueror of conquerors now,
Yeah.
for better or worse, mostly worse, definitely worse. But God, and she has become like full Dothraki. She has embraced her Dothraki Targaryen parentage.
So I
Or
mean this is what the flurry on Twitter has been all about, and I think Asen and I are totally on the same page on this. I think for me, I don't know how George is going to end the story. Some people have said that this is how the story is going to end, and there's been a rumor that he actually has finished the books and he has a do not release or whatever, like some type of what do you call it, contract with Dave and Dan that he can't release the books until the show's over. But I think for me, I think her getting to this point would be okay. But the problem is everything was so rushed, and
it's like like people are saying, oh, she turned a dime. That was too fast. It's like, is it though? Is it?
Mhm.
And this comes from someone who thought, oh wait, she turned crazy fast when I first saw it. I had to internalize and recognize and compute and do a lot of mental and spiritual journeying to like get to this point.
Mhm.
But we have been getting hints of this as early as season 1. The coldness she showed when Viserys was killed, what she said to the masters of Cars about when my dragons are big, I will raise armies and burn them to the ground. She had when she wanted to destroy Astapor and Yunkai when the masters took control back. When I think she was even prepared to burn Marine to the ground just so during the siege. When she arrives in King's Landing, she wants to just go there and burn them all, especially when her fleet is destroyed and the Unsullied are stranded in Casterly Rock. Is that but the thing is, she has always had people around her to advise her against it. Again, to control her, to like assuage her violent tendencies. She's always been violent, but she's had advisors. She's had Dora. She's had Melisandre. She's had Barristan. She's had even Dario. She's had Tyrion and Jon and Varys. Just to not to tell her, no, don't do this. This is wrong. Don't do this. This is wrong. What I think about what I think about when I think about Dany? I think about Sherlock, the show Sherlock. I think about the character of Eurus Holmes. By the way, spoilers. Thanks. But it's about spoilers, by the way. If anyone hasn't seen Sherlock, which you probably absolutely should. But give me a second, Vanessa. But it gave me what she said, that because Eurus, she was so smart, she was crazy. And she said she equated herself to a little girl on an airplane. She was so high, in an airplane surrounded by corpses. She was so high above everyone else that she was isolated and she was alone and she just couldn't deal. That's more or less what's happening with Dany. And yes, could it have been done better? Yes, absolutely. There are things I still don't agree with and I still don't like. But to say that she turned on a dime, it's disingenuous to her entire character, because she has always been violent. She has always been impulsive and just power hungry. Because especially in Slaver's Bay, when people just adored her and revered her and worshipped her, that can get into someone's head. She will get delusions of grandeur because of that, because people want her. She's a queen. She becomes more than a queen to the slave. She becomes a goddess. For that reverence to suddenly turn into mistrust and just becoming a pariah in the country of her birth, the country that she has sought to rule over, where she thought she could come in and it'd be like Slaver's Bay, and she thought, oh, I will win over these people like I won over Slaver's Bay, and I will become queen of the Seven Kingdoms and Marine. No, girl, that Marine and Slaver's Bay is not Westeros. It's not cut out of the same cloth. So, and also during the series, her advisors, her tether to sanity have all been dying one by one. They have either died, abandoned her, or betrayed her, and she has slowly been becoming mad.
Yeah.
Again, was it done as well as it could have been? No, because I do not believe that she should have burned the city, or at least burned the city first, because D&D said she looked at the Red Keep, she thought about her journey and everything that was taken from her family and everything that she suffered through and everything she's suffering right now in this freaking country that will just not accept her, and she snaps. So why not go to the Red Keep? Destroy the Red Keep. That's where Cersei is. That's where the people, the symbol of the family that ruined and took everything from you and yours is. Destroy the Red Keep. Maybe afterwards, after she has destroyed the Red Keep, maybe Cersei and Jaime die then. Maybe, but after she destroys the Red Keep, she still feels angry. She is consumed by the power lust, and she's consumed by the blood hunger, and she looks at the city of King's Landing and says, you know what? This is not enough. Burn them all. That I could have gotten. Mm-hmm. But her just going directly to the people who have done nothing to her, who are surrendering to her, that was bullschnitzel.
Yeah. You feel better now?
Here. I really need to get that out. I have been purged.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, I mean, I don't know. I mean, eventually this is probably, again, we talked about this, where the story is going, even maybe for George. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, 830 just says that was one great rant. But I feel for me, back to, HBO wanting to have this show to continue, for probably a couple more seasons to flesh it all out. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me because sorry, hi guys, I'm bad. It didn't work for me because it just felt so rushed, and a lot of the sort of the elements of storytelling weren't there, because I'm sorry guys, I'm losing my thoughts now because I'm getting kind of tired. But anyway, I kind of said my mind. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So last night on Twitter, I sort of talked about how this whole thing with Dany sort of felt similar to the arc of Anakin Skywalker in the third prequel, when he suddenly just goes and kills all the children. That's sort of how it felt for me. It's like, I'm like, wait, what? So all of a sudden he goes from being Anakin Skywalker into this, scary dude, and just goes and slaughters all the children, the Jedi children. And that for me, I went, okay, that I can't be on board with that. And then ever since then, I've just always had a bad taste in my mouth for the prequels. And also I think it didn't help that the actor was terrible as well, even though he's Canadian.
But whew.
So what do you guys think in the chat? I'm just sort of like, so next week now I'm like, okay, so now it's just going to be left to have either Arya or Jon or somebody take her out. This is what's going to happen, right?
Basically.
Yeah,
majority. People are saying Arya. I'm kind of veering towards Jon, because of poetic justice and all that and stuff.
Another Star Wars reference? What do you mean, Majora? Oh, I always use Star Wars. My darling, because Star Wars is my my first love. One of my first loves. I have a video on Star Wars costumes, by the way.
Yeah, I'm ready for the rest of those videos, by the way. I'm still waiting.
I know, I have to do it.
Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi at the very least. And people can hate the prequels as much as they want. The costumes were fabulous. and you
Oh
should
yeah.
definitely profit on that. Videos on that
Um, Sadly, the storytelling for many characters suffered, and people are sad that the wool isn't slowly being pulled off their eyes. With Dany, it's being ripped. Hmm. Well, I mean, I personally think that Dave and Dan are shit writers, and so I think how I would have felt is I would have preferred this to have been handled by somebody who is more competent in the writing department. So even if all of the tent poles are where they need to be, and regarding the story, I don't like how we got to the tent poles. Is basically sort of how I feel.
Yeah, basically. It.
Yeah, Danny's dead. I mean, there's no other way it's going to end, right? That's how it's going to end. And
Jon
I mean, I knew the writing was on the wall when I saw the ads for the season 8 when they said for the throne was the tagline for the season, for the throne. And I was like, why is it for the throne? Shouldn't it be about the long night, or shouldn't it be about the battle for the dawn, or defeating the White Walkers? Like, that's what I thought. So I was like, for the throne, like, who gives a fuck about the throne? Like, seriously. I mean, is this what the point of the whole thing is? By the end of it, we're just supposed to say it's all meaningless. It's just none of it matters, because really it doesn't. I mean, I'm a Canadian, and we are part of we're part of the monarchy. And although it's just like, I mean, honestly, the Queen is just like it's just a state thing now. But a lot of people in Canada were like, want nothing to do with it. They're anti-monarchists. So we've got people in Canada who are monarchists, and we got people in Canada who are anti-monarchists, because we're already a democracy here. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what the point of the whole thing is. It that war is a waste.
Yeah. It's. I honestly, I understand where they took Dany's character and why they took it there, and it has been foreshadowed for many seasons. We were just blinded by her good deeds,
Mm-hmm.
but they did not stick the landing completely. It did feel like it was like coasting and coasting, like slowly descending, and then bam,
Yeah.
no dive.
So, Sarah, I don't know who's going to be watching Star Wars, because I don't think any of the Game of Thrones fandom will be watching it. So I'm not sure who's going to be watching it. And then apparently they're planning on doing Confederate, which is just this piece of garbage that hopefully. But I mean, I'm going to say Star Wars again. Like, I've often criticized George. What's his name? Forgot his name now. Tatiana, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here, girl. I'm just reading the comments.
George Lucas. I've often commented about, I don't think that George Lucas was a very good writer either. So this is the thing. I mean, he never worked very well with actors. He was kind of like a nerd, right? He wanted to be behind the scenes. He was never like an actor's director. He always just wanted to work with tech, and he was a nerd. Yes, Lucas, thank you. You'll watch an entire series on Queen Amidala? Okay. Please, God, no. If those two get a hold of Star Wars, I'll boycott. They are. They've been promised a series. Yeah. It's a done deal.
Boycott, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, so Tatiana, anything else you want to say to wrap up? I think I'm gonna have to go. My brain is shutting off. I worked all today, so.
Yeah, I get it. This was traumatizing. I did not expect this to happen. Kudos, I guess, on D&D for ripping the cloth out of my eyes that fast. That it gave me whiplash. It's still pounding in my brain. I need to see how the hell they're going to end this, because God. Also, Euron can go to hell. There we go.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty glad he's dead. Well, I think he's dead, right? We're assuming he's dead. Tatiana, you think?
Also, who? Oh, he did. He
Yeah.
did. He died with a smile on his in his mouth, his face. And also, maybe who knows? Maybe Arya is reconsidering the whole Lady of Storm's End now that she's seen the carnage that this can bring. I mean, he said you could be the Lady of Storm's End. He didn't say you can't also be a badass assassin if you want to. You know, you don't have to stay and pop up ladies.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be so weird next week. Like after the episode, I'm not even sure what to think. I was gonna say Vanessa recommended Men in High Castle, which is really good. I read the book, it's excellent. Anything by Philip K. Dick is excellent because I'm a big Blade Runner lover too. Like Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. But yeah, so they have a really great on Vanessa, what's that on? Is that on you're going to have to tell me what network that's on because I forget. I think the costume designer of the Amidala costumes will make the costumes of Outlander the next season. Really? Is that true? I didn't know that. I think I did. Maybe I did hear that, Asen. You know, it's funny because so far I've seen pictures for the new Outlander and the costumes do really look good. Because I was starting to get a little bit bored with the costumes there. So anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap up. I'm like a little bit getting a little bit tired. So pardon about my backdrop. I'll work on something a little bit nicer next time. My crown's starting to fall off a bit. So firstly, I have a costumes of Jaime Lannister video out. If anybody hasn't seen it, it's kind of, I think it's pretty fun. Like I liked it. I like doing it. It was really interesting to me. And I think at the end of the season, maybe Tatiana, we've talked about, I don't know if we're going to be able to call it the top 10 best costumes, maybe the most compelling costumes. We'll have to figure out what we want to call it, but maybe we can do that at the end of the season. I still am working on what's that?
Are you trying to get me to do a top 20 best costumes of all time?
No, not all time. No, of season.
I mean, like Game of Thrones. Oh, season 8. Okay.
Season 8.
If you're going to open all 8 seasons, I'm God, girl. You know the hell I went through to compile the top 20.
No, I know you did.
Women's costumes. Don't make me choose, girl.
Ace in Dark is coming. Yeah, I really want to see this season. Tatiana, have you seen Dark? It's a German show. It was shot in the 18th century. Have you seen the show Dark? Sort of like it's sort of like a Stranger Things type show.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
It's really good. Anyway, it's like about time travel, I guess, or parallel worlds, kind of parallel worlds, time travel. It's not even 10 costumes, I believe. That's true, Vanessa. They cut the budget. No, I think I counted, and I think there was 18. Have you ever considered doing the costumes of either Once Upon a Time or American Horror Story? I'm thinking I might do Once Upon a Time. I think what's going to happen is after Game of Thrones is done, I'll have to do a little bit of a maybe like step away from it for a while. I'll probably come back to it and do some other videos, but I think I'll probably have to step away from it. I think I'm going to be a little bit Game of Thrones burnt out. What about you, Tatiana? Are you going to be burnt out on Game of Thrones?
Probably. I mean, I still have inspiration galore for costumes. I mean, I still have one for Lyanna's death dress, Queen Visenya.
Yeah.
I still have quite a bit. I think I might do another, like a Gilly dress, maybe, like fix on Gilly's Hornhill dress, maybe. You know how
much I love that dress.
You know how much I love that dress.
Oh, you know what else is really cool? They're going to be doing a new Lord of the Rings series, like a prequel. That might be fun.
Oh yeah, sure. I thought maybe they're going to do like the Silmarillion, because which is basically like the pre-Lord of the Rings Bible.
It's like, I think I read it's like maybe 500 years before. 500 years.
It's basically like the creation, like the birth of Galadriel,
the origin story.
And like the super origin story, like the origin of the gods and
Oh, okay.
and the elves.
Well, I think they were saying though that Aragorn's ancestors are in it. Like his like ancestors would be the main characters. So we'll have to see. I think that's going to be on Prime or one of those channels.
Yeah.
So I was thinking you might be able to do Game of Queens for that.
For what? For what?
For the new Lord of the Rings series. Maybe we can do a Game of Queens on that. Yeah.
Oh.
And I had somebody else asking me if we could do the Met Gala. And I'm like, well, oh, we didn't plan that, but maybe next year we should do that. We should do a Met Gala. Sure. We could do like a Met Gala live commentary, like kind of like Joan Rivers, like the red carpet.
Like, oh my God, there's her hat. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can still comment on we can still comment on the costumes of this year, of the dresses of this year.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, because someone was saying, "Oh, are you guys going to do that? That would be so fun." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know," because I sometimes do it on Twitter. Like I'll just be like, "Oh, did you guys see this outfit?" or what I think of the outfits. But I thought maybe that would be a fun thing to do. Yeah, Dorn I love the Met Gala.
Like, and I love this year particularly because it's supposed to be camp.
Yeah,
and that is like it's supposed to be like over the top. Like, oh my God, what the hell did you do? I love this, and it was most disappointing. I can think of some exceptions because I love Janelle Monáe. I love Lady Gaga. She did a performance art all on her own. And I love Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller can get it. He can get it.
Definitely. Yeah. What did you think of Zendaya as Cinderella with Zendaya with the light, the LEDs or something, I think were in her costume.
Oh, the Cinderella dress.
Yeah.
I like the concept. I just wish the dress wasn't gray.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I get it. Like, I get it because you need to see like the LED lights underneath. But do another dress. Like, at least make it like a darker blue, so the lighter blue can show through. Mm-hmm. Don't make it gray. I mean, again, I like the concept. I like the performance, but.
What do you think of Kim Kardashian, though?
Oh, Kim Kardashian is camp. She can be naked and she's camp. Because just her body.
There was a really interesting, because I was like, oh my God, that waist is ridiculous. But there was a really interesting behind the scenes how her having a fitting with Thierry Mugler or whatever, how you say his name. Her having a fitting, and they had like a special corset maker who did the foundation garment for her dress. Because I was like, what the hell is she wearing? Like, I couldn't figure it out, but it was like nude color, so it looked like her skin tone. Like, it was exactly her skin tone. And it was just crazy. Like, basically her skin and her flesh was all like squished together. Like, you could see it through the lacing, like the way they were like pulling her in. Yeah, Mr. Pearl, the best corset maker on earth. Yeah, Mr. Pearl. And then the costume itself was made out of silicone, so it looked like water, like it looked wet.
She looked wet. She is like a naked wet lady.
Yeah,
and that's what she wants to do. And bravo. I mean, Kanye West. Why the hell was he even there? He could have just left her. She just left her there. He was like a freaking shadow.
She said in the video, she said he was really excited to go, but he hadn't even picked out his outfit yet. So his outfit, whatever it was like a last minute thing. Asen, yeah, like, I'm like,
black shirt and pants. It was literally a black shirt and pants.
Yeah, because that's like, she said, but I'm like, I totally agree with Asen, but I just, these people who are like celebrities for the sake of being celebrity, I just always like kind of, I don't know. I always think like, you could do so much wonder, so much amazing things in this world. Like, there are so many people in need, and yet everything is about just nothing. It's just, it's empty.
I also really liked Oh God, Katy Perry.
Oh,
Katy Perry,
Katy Perry was my
chandelier.
favorite.
Chandelier.
Yeah,
I
she was
thought
awesome.
honestly, I was waiting for like Phantom of the Opera to come just sing to her and
Yeah.
just like cut her up and then just she falls.
Yeah,
Like,
I was a little bit annoyed because people were comparing her to Lumiere, and I'm like, Lumiere is a candlestick, and she was a chandelier. Like, do you not have eyes in your head?
he's a candelabra.
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 Yeah, but I'm like, police people, you can't even distinguish the difference. And then she dressed up like a hamburger, and there's this really funny video or picture or video where she's in the bathroom trying to get her hamburger on, and then meanwhile, like J-Lo walks by, and they're like, hey J-Lo, as she's trying to get her hamburger on.
Like, hey Jen, hey Katie.
Marquesas Casati. Ezra Miller was the most camp. Yeah, I love that. It was Ezra Miller's costume reminded me of Salvador Dali. I don't know if it was meant to be that, but that's sort of what it reminded me of. Is that what he was inspired by?
But maybe.
Yes, surrealist. Yeah, exactly. Avant-garde.
But the makeup. The makeup, yeah. It literally took me a while to see what were his real eyes.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was really well done.
Which one are your real eyes? You creepy Spider-Man, you.
Mm-hmm.
It was gorgeous, and also as I said, I love Janelle Monáe, and her structured cubist dress. I was like, yes, with the boob eye. And the eye handbag, I was living for that dress. And the 3 hats. She had 3 hats. Yeah. It's like, why do you have 3 hats?
By the way, hi Caligula. Like, I don't think I said hi to you. Hello, Caligula. Oh yeah. 30 Days mentioned. Yeah, Doris Day passed away today at 97, I think.
Oh, she had a long.
She had a long life. Yeah. Because you think about it, she used to do all these movies with Brock Hudson, and God, how long ago did he die? Back in the 80s or something.
She was the face of the 50s, basically. Doris Day.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe I'll do a little something about her on Twitter later. But guys, I'm going to have to go. So anyways, we're going to do this next week though, right, Tatiana? After the final episode airs.
And hey, Azu and Romy, if you want to join in, call.
Yeah, I don't think Romy's here now, but we'll message you guys. And the other thing I was going to say is apparently after next week they're going to do a sort of behind the scenes on the show. We should watch that and maybe do a review of that, because maybe they'll have stuff on the costumes.
Probably, yeah.
Because I watched this other behind the scenes and I was like, oh my God. They had the actors in costume on set and everything, but they didn't have any. I think they just did one scene where they showed the Mountain getting into his armor. And I think they said it took like 3 minutes or something. It didn't take them that long. You'd be surprised. Thank you, girls. We'll be disappointed together. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to get drunk.
Yay. I think I'm going to have to put some tequila in the orange juice.
Yeah, we'll have drinks next week. Yeah, we'll have drinks next week.
Also, I saw a video that says like the Game of Thrones cast being disappointed at season 8 for like 6 minutes.
Oh, I watched that too.
It was so sad. And one of them was like Peter Dinklage saying he put the people in the crypts during a battle with people who rise from the dead. What? Even Dinklage, even Tyrion.
Yeah, this picture. Oh, sorry, you gave me this picture. This is the one of Kit Harington here. She asked him, "How would you describe?" What did he say? How would you describe?
In his interview, it was like, so how do you feel? What do you think this new season is going to be? And he's like, disappointing. It's like disappointing. Yeah. Or epic, whichever one comes first. I was like,
And then they had Danny, going, best season ever.
Best season ever. Like the most. like the most sarcastic face.
Yep.
Oh god.
Okay,
Also,
guys.
he looks so pretty. Oh,
He does
I
look
love
pretty. Yeah, what do you like, his short hair?
I love the short hair and the porn stash. The porn
You like
stash
porn
thing.
stash? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caligula said, well, they are
I
actors. Laugh out loud. Okay. So guys, we'll be back next week. There's my lovely Tatiana dressed in black because she's in mourning. And here I have to, oh my God, like this is this thing. Like I can't. I've been working all day, so now I'm like, oh, okay, there you can see how tired I am. Okay, so guys, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone who came. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. That was so nice. That was a while back we got that. It was what a nice surprise, though. Thanks for everybody who's still here. So Vanessa's here, Dornish Wench, Hindsight POV, Caligula, Longbottom. Sarah's still here. Sarah, are you working? Hi. Yeah, 30 days. Thanks for coming by. He's moderating, but everyone's been so nicely behaved. Soon, of course. Oh, Billy Porter. Oh yeah, he's amazing. And the Barbie was really great too.
Doesn't like Kit Harington in real life.
What isn't airing? What isn't airing next week? The finale's not airing next week?
No, when is it? Girl, when is it? I need to know, when is it? I'm gonna cry. When is it?
99 says, is it? Oh no, it's next week, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It isn't airing next week.
Why?
The 26th. Really? You've got to be freaking kidding me. They're gonna make it week?
What?
Oh, Vanessa says the 19th. Oh, you must be talking about the oh no. Okay, well, I'm gonna look that up. I'm not gonna trust you on that. I'm not gonna trust you. You're gonna be like, I'll wait till the 26th, and meanwhile. Okay. Well, we'll see about that. I'm not kidding, he says, or she says. Caligula could be a girl, but I don't think so. Okay, so bye everybody. Thanks so much and have a wonderful evening. You want to say goodbye, Tatiana?
Bye. See you next week or next week or next week.
Do you want to sing us out?
Morning.
Do you want to sing us out, my darling? Okay, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay.
And she never wanted to leave. 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 Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.